Unfortunately, I can't fast forward through the loading in. I did just configure myself some hotkeys, so this jumps forward. I think it's like 10, no, it's like 15 seconds, I guess. But I can speed up, slow down. We can do so much cool stuff with this. I can pause when I want. Yeah. So let's preface, right? Let's preface with a little bit of the history of where this is going to go. In the first initial seconds, as fireworks go off outside. It's almost Guy Fawkes night as well, so there's just fireworks everywhere in the UK. I live near a petrol station. I'm waiting for that thing to explode. So if there is a boom, that's why. Okay. The United States came into this tournament with so much pride. They thought that they were going to come in here and beat South Korea, right? This is what the United States were expecting. This is their goal. Beat South Korea. And then some brave boys just come in from the United Kingdom and just completely ruin that. So yeah, I could not be prouder. Okay, United States not actually going to be starting with the Symmetra. They're going to be rolling out with Hydration on the Farah, Sinatra on the Doomfist, and this, honestly, this is the sort of comp that I was expecting the USA to be running more often, right? This is kind of the thing that I was looking for them to be doing. Meanwhile, the UK, a little bit unorthodox to start with, right? We've got Boombox on the Sombra, Mikey on the Zarya at the moment. I think they scouted one or two bits and pieces, so yeah, they're going to be changing up as they go. Yeah, Mikey just zips back as well, so they're just scouting, like, Smex comes out, scouts it, oh, they've got Farah, we need to change up what we're doing, and they're going to go straight for the goats, right? They're going to go for the Moira goats in particular. You might be wondering, like, why go Moira goats? The answer is simple. Actually, we can just leave it here because the UK are going to stay hidden for a while. Moira goats is the best form of goats against, like, a high aggro comp and against non-goats comps. Moira goats gives you, like, Moira is super safe. You get a very fast early advantage by using all the Moira's healing, and you get a lot of power out of it. So it's a really, really strong comp in general, all-around sense. The issue that the UK are going to come up against is that Doomfist is very good against goats, and particularly Nufara as well is good against goats. So I'm going to see the UK go in, and Fusions, he gets right proper unlucky. Right, he gets super unlucky, and we can even go back and sort of zoom in and look up close at what happens to Fusions, because it really is kind of unfortunate. The fine hiding, they hide until like the last couple of seconds for the lock-in, but you're going to see Fusions just get clipped into the wall. I think if Fusions survived here, this would actually be an okay fight for the UK. But Punch comes in, and Fusions just hits the wall. I think it might have even been like Mooma knocking him into it. Fusions goes down, and once you lose that Reinhardt, you lose a lot of damage in, like, this instance. And you can see, like, how close to the ground Hydration is. Like, you can imagine if a Reinhardt was in this situation, you got, like, Zarya bubbles on the Reinhardt and stuff. This fight would actually go very differently. But Fusions going down is pretty goddamn huge. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Miska. It's very appreciated, son. Goats, look, Goats is vastly underrated. Unfortunately, now is a problem, right? Because Goats is very good when you're like, you're pushing onto a team that is, we can actually pause and explain this point. And I can move the camera around as well. Oh, it's so good. Although I'm going to keep it in place and do this instead. So the thing that Goats is very good at is if you have a lot of targets, say, on the floor down here. Ooh, that's the wrong color to use. A lot of targets on the floor down here. Oh, look, we've got Reinhardt and all these people down on the ground. Oh, yeah, that's super good. And you just run at them with Goats, then you can brawl these guys and fight them. One of the Goats' primarily weaknesses is if the enemy is like here and flying up here and on top of this and on top of this. So, okay, well, you can run through here and you can maybe push Sinatra off, but Sinatra can just like bounce over here super easily, right? And you can get away from the Goats. Goats has good horizontal mobility, but has terrible vertical mobility. It's fast because you have a Lucio in the middle of it and you can just kind of run at people and not care, but it's bad at going up and down very quickly. So this team comp that the United States is running is going to be very, very strong. With the new Farah as well, just spamming rockets into it, you're going to see barrages come up online like every couple of seconds. You can even go first-person view now and just enjoy the view as Hydration builds up barrage after barrage after barrage. And because there is a Mercy as well, and I think Reinforce mentioned this on the broadcast, which I think is a very good point as well, on a map with a high skybox, using D.Va to like rush down Farahs is a lot weaker. Because the skybox on this map is super high, because you can basically go almost all the way up to the top of the lighthouse, the Farah can stay super high up, so D.Va can't just like dash at the Farah and try and kill her. With the Mercy there, that's kind of difficult to do as well. You might be wondering, like, there are some good questions as well, like why isn't Boombox on Zen or on Ana instead? Like, why aren't they adapting Boombox perhaps to play something that can maybe deal with the Pharah? I think the answer is the Doomfist. Moira gives you a good option against the Doomfist, and Coalescence, which builds so fast with goats, is also very, very good at dealing with Pharmacy. You can very easily, like, you'll see Boombox do this over and over again, and we'll highlight it throughout the day, but you'll see Boombox just target Moth or target the Mercy when he's got Coalescence and focus on getting the kill there. And you can see, by the way, that's the reposition Sinatra just did. Just bouncing away, so coming across over here. And there's the Coalescence I'm sort of talking about as well. You're going to see him just try and focus Moth. Moth uses Valkyrie very intelligently, gets out of the way, and then just a re-engage, quick pick from Sinatra, and there we go. Fight 1, right? All going well for the United States so far. The United States probably deservedly feeling very confident at the moment. Like, why wouldn't you? This is going to plan. This is what it looks like when the US is going to plan, and honestly, like, hats off to them. They're playing this anti-goat style extremely well, and the UK don't really seem to have an answer for it. We're just like running in, doing the same thing over and over, and unfortunately on Control, that's not really fast enough to win these maps. Like, we got an opportunity here, but again, early picks out of Sinatra. Doomfist comes in, gets a big kill. Grab goes in, but there's just too many resources to sort of be thrown into them. It's just building too fast. Doomfist ult builds fast, Pharah ult builds fast. As a result, there's just constant death on them. Those sort of game-winning combos don't have enough time to manifest and don't really have time to do anything. And there we go, first map. What's nice is I can even just do this and skip this, and skip this. But now the UK are going to do something different. So for all the people saying that the UK did nothing but play goats, well, we have a lesson for you, I suppose, which is that this young lad here, this young lanimal. We can even follow Widowmaker majestically in flight as the tick rate shakily updates her position. Beautiful. I think that's just with the replay client. I imagine it's much smoother in game. But yeah, so Widowmaker coming out to play it on this map. Unsurprisingly, Hydration opting for the Sombra. No Doomfist being played, notably. Just something worth mentioning.
Welcome to Overwatch, Monster.
US lost.
They lost.
Unfortunately, the chatty woman didn't really like that one too much. Yeah, the UK, like, I actually want to highlight something, because when I was watching this back, I remember just sitting and watching Boombox. Boombox is in an interesting position here. Like, I think this is a fascinating position, because it feels like Boombox could just get pushed here, but you can see that Kib is there protecting him, and he's also going to have Cruz. There's Cruz protecting him as well. So Boombox is in this little back corner, and I think if the United States just commit super hard on Boombox, Boombox probably dies here. But they don't. And I don't think you can let Boombox free farm. Because I'm going to pause it here. Take a look at the ult charges. Okay, I'm not going to pause it here while the capping noise is done. There. Now the capping noise is done. Take a look at the ult charges. Right? Take a look. Boombox, 75%. Hydration's getting up there. He's been sort of farming away as well, but by far and away, Boombox and Hydration are the two highest up there. Letting a Zen charge like that is crazy, and Boombox got so much value there. The US just didn't contest him, didn't do anything with him. And I'm going to bring us back, and it's like, well, what are the US doing? Like, that's the logical question that follows up. What are they doing instead? Where are they focusing? And they're waiting for the point to activate. Pokey, 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 pokey. Engage slightly on Kip. Don't engage super. Oh, God, I'm so used to that being a slow down button. My apologies, I'm still getting used to the new client. So yeah, the pokey, 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 pokey. And then they engage slightly on Kib. It's like, where's the engage plan here? Okay, you're going to mob Kib. But Kib just gets the counter stun on Sinatra and Boombox just kills him. Right? It's a very, very weird engagement to sort of take. Like, Sinatra, I imagine the plan was Sinatra stuns Kib and they kill Kib, but Kib just stunned first. It's not really complicated what happened there. Yes, they're going to kill him, Mikey, to close it out, but that's kind of neither here nor there. Now, the US does actually have, like, some good potential here, right? You got Hydration on the Sombra. Sombra is a game-winning hero. She can very easily flip maps with EMP, so this is going to be a constant threat for the UK to pay attention to, especially as, you know, Boombox is going to be vital here. But just like, interesting playstyle. Hack doesn't manage to come through. Winston manages to block it with the bubble. Very nice. Fusion's in trouble. EMP comes out, but doesn't catch Boombox. I think Boombox actually might have. Let's... I want to time this one out. Just keep an eye on the ult charges. So EMP comes first, but doesn't get boomers. EMP comes out like almost in like a panic. Like Smex didn't get hit by that. The only person that got hit by that was fusions, and getting fusions is kind of a big deal, but don't know if it's worth just the full EMP commit. Mikey, by the way, uncontested at the moment. Mikey, don't get me, Mikey is not Carpe, right? Mikey is not like oh no, Mikey was this. Oh, was this moment where Muma just like completely fucking failed to contest Mikey? Yeah, this is where Muma got caught. I completely haven't highlighted this. We need to highlight this. So Muma's been like stuck in the back line, and is just going to stay there. And you can actually see the UK scouting out for him, right? Smex is looking. Everyone's looking for him in the back. They can't find him. They can't spot him. The gorilla's been hidden. Mikey spots him out, and then we have this just comical chase that got put on Reddit with some hilarious music. And it's just like the silliest thing you'll ever see of Muma just completely failing to control Mikey. And wait for it. He's going for the health back. Pop! Done. And now Mikey can just rejoin the fight. Q Yakety Sax. I think it's more Benny Hill theme is I think more appropriate. And then I think they play as well. Like the Reddit meme plays For the Damaged Coda, which is the music from Rick and Morty. It's a beautiful track. Beautiful track. You know, it's they play this moment for it as just the final blow, because it is kind of heartbreaking. And then Mikey has free farm now. What can contest him? Even Raucus is dead. They didn't even need him for that fight, so like a blown EMP, your Winston's been out of the fight the entire time. It's all not going well. It's going quite badly, to be honest, for the USA. Alright then, let's have a look. So, USA's victory option sort of got narrowed down. They do have 2 support ultimates, in theory, coming up. Moth is so far behind. Moth has, like, done so little. Cruz has been building these ults super quickly. Like, Cruz has been very impressive throughout all of this. He just constantly finds ways to get a little bit of extra value compared to a lot of other supports that I was noticing. Just universally good. Again, peels back, protects Boombox. Smex gets a mess to also cover Boombox with a literal diva bomb. And yeah, his job is just protect Boombox, and it's working out pretty nicely. Trance comes through. This is now worrying, where the US just has more bodies on the point, so we can actually zoom out and just enjoy the fight. So the US are actually doing okay here, but the UK are in a position where they can just push towards 90% and then have an easy win condition. I'm curious to see. I'm going to go back a little bit. I want to see where the fight turned. And it could be Smex getting demexed. Like, there's just not enough damage left on the point at that moment. The US also is playing in a really strong position here. I just want to sort of highlight that the US, notice that the US are all like in this space. So Mikey, who has position up here at the moment, can even move us slightly. There we go. Let's just, so you can see Mikey's up here, and he doesn't have super good sight lines on a lot of the US team. You can see much easier from his perspective. You can see how most people are out of line of sight. So they're not involved in the, like, Mikey's not really involved in the fight as much as perhaps he could be. Maybe he needed to rotate here to get a slightly better angle. Brigalt doing work as well, by the way. Brigalt is actually a really good finisher. Like, it's just a really good thing to have in a fight. Like, giving everyone more health and more armor as like a constant AoE heal on top of Briggs already AoE healing is actually very impactful. But the UK, like, if you were a UK fan, you probably weren't super worried about this. I certainly wasn't. What happened to Kip? We can go find out. Losing Brig is super important, so yeah, that's the fight's already over there. Hacked. Hacked, focus down. That's honestly, that's the United States achieving their objectives, right? That's what the US need to do. That's sort of how the US wins fights, right? You either get a stun or you get a hack on someone and you burn them down. So that was well done, well executed. But UK have a lot of good opportunities ahead of them. Like, this next fight's probably going to go badly for them, and they probably know it because EMP's not there, so they should just be pushing for eco. Beautiful dive straight onto Raucus. EMP's not a good one either. Let's slow this down. I want to see who this EMP hits. This is just good focus calling, by the way. And this is actually bad positioning from the US. This is... So, remember me talking a lot about how Cruise and Boombox were supporting each other? Well, Infrasight's been activated. So they can see, it's clear as day, that Raucus is over here on his own. And maybe they're thinking, oh, well, Raucus has Raucus has, sorry, Transcendence. He's completely safe. Maybe that's the thought there. But Moth is, like, so distant. So there's just no peel here for Raucus at all. So the UK just engage on him and go for a little bit. It's like, you know, perhaps this stun shouldn't work, or Raucus just needed to react. EMP gets Winston, and does actually manage to get Boombox as well. But Boombox, I think, just gets kibbed. Yeah, Kib picks him up. Losing that Transcendence is huge. That's a massive advantage gone, and this fight's going to go long enough. I think the Boombox should be able to get his out, unless Mooma smashes him. Mooma is busy playing around with Cruise. There's the Transcendence, and now the fight is just going terribly. The US cannot maintain position on the point, so the chances of it flipping increase. Brigitte's ult is having a huge impact. Now, pretty much everyone in the UK has a lot of resources. US do have a solid re-engage coming up, but they're probably going to have to blow both support ults into UK using one, which just sets the UK up for a simple win condition. So there's the sound barriers. There's the Brigitte ult. The question here is, do the US commit on Raucus' ult? If Raucus holds this ult, it's pretty good for the US in terms of ult management. If he feels pressured enough to use it, then it's kind of rough. Now that's okay for the UK. And Boombox, holy shit, lad! How? He's just used this ultimate. I want to see how he does this, and I'm so glad that we can see how he does this, because he gets another ult in the space of this fight. Like, he's just being uncontested. He's feeding, like, Mooma's feeding him a little bit. He's going to back off, and yes, 70% of an ult. It's pretty good. Well, what do you want to do there, Javanator Gaming? Let's have a look. I found the video of Mooma versus Mikey A. Am I allowed to link it? I guess not. Ah, I can actually do this for you. Permit Javanator Gaming. It's a security thing. Non-subs aren't allowed to post links. It's just in case someone comes in and spams something dodgy. Right. So yeah, UK in a really good position. That's an okay-ish hack. Weird Transcendence there. Why have the US done this? Why did you do this? Let's try and solve the mystery. I can understand, okay, don't get me wrong, this isn't me going, oh, UK, what are US doing? They're initiating early. That's not the bad thing. I actually think this is a good play. Like, it's a good idea in Overwatch not to just always like, oh, we're just going to sit on the point and wait for the enemy team, right? You want to have moments where you are going like, okay, this time we're going to engage, and we're going to engage here, right? We want to engage at this position. What are we going to do for that? Well, we're going to go in and we're going to use EMP and engage early and win this fight. What you don't do is you give up your safety net on against a team that's probably going to have 2 team fights. Like, if you engage here, you're going to give them 2 team fights. Mooma goes down super early because the UK just focuses like a normal bunch of human beings. They have a Zenyatta, so just greedy engage is going to get punished. You see how quickly Mooma's going to drop? Doesn't get any heals either. Where's the Brigitte heal? Sinatra? Sinatra, hello? He's just getting stunned up by Kib. And so this, by the way, is why I think Team UK very rightly sort of talked about the fact that Mooma should not be getting shit on for, like, oh, Mooma's so bad, he did nothing but feed. This is the team's job to protect. United States do not have a Zarya, so they can't cover a tank engaging this aggressively. They have to do it with the D.Va. You have to do it with the Brigitte as well. You have to anticipate the damage and have your Brigitte in position to be able to provide the healing or the healing pack to mitigate any damage that goes in. So Mooma just jumps in, and instead of focusing on supporting and like helping out his engage, he's just going to go hunt Kib. His main tank dies. Raucus is panicked, I'm guessing. Like, if this was XCOM, I'd be, you know, you'd see, like, Raucus has panicked, and he's pressed Q to try and save Mooma. He shouldn't have had to do this. And now, suddenly, the US are on the back foot. Right, this team fight is going very badly. They commit the EMP. United Kingdom just gonna go, okay. You know what? Whatever. You win this team fight. Congratulations. You've won the team fight. Now we're gonna come kill you with our Transcendence. Good fucking luck. And we're almost going to blow Raucus's head off, because Mikey is actually a pretty decent Widowmaker when he wants to be. Mikey's very good at clutching. Like, Mikey's very good at getting kills when he needs to get kills. I wouldn't say, like, Raid's Widowmaker is being amazing, but he's very good at just finding kills and, like, not fucking up. He did get a couple of grabs eaten, but predominantly he didn't fuck up. And that's all you can really ask for a DPS player. So, yeah, Engage goes in. Fusion's actually doing a respectable amount of damage there. Fight's not going their way just yet. Fight's really not going their way. And they're getting pushed out. Muma did a pretty solid job there. Muma did actually really well there. So he shut down Mikey. He's got rid of Mikey. That's something that he should be able to do. It's a good number on Boombox. And then just goes in, ults. And like, this is where perhaps the peel isn't quite going to plan. Like, my question is now, where was Cruz, basically? What was Cruz doing? Because Cruz needed to be peeling for boomers. So US do a good job disengaging slightly here. Managed to still get a kill out Mikey A. Waited out, Muma comes back in, and then, okay, he peels away on the, yeah, you can't fault Cruz too much there. He managed to get rid of the Sombra, but Muma's just a little bit too threatening. Muma does a really good job there with the Primal Rage, manages to get a bunch of kills. So that was well played by Muma. I think Muma carried that fucking fight and dug the US out of a pretty deep hole. Because by rights, the US should have lost that fight from an economy point of view. And there we go. And the US take map number 1. Or do they? Yes, they do. Lero. There we go. United States wins. Map 1. Very, very strong first point. Second point, cracks are showing, right? It's not perfect. It's not clean. UK's map choice, going to Kings Row. USA, 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 USA. There we go. It did make me happy, by the way, that against South Korea, the American fans, I think, started chanting like UK, UK, UK. Like, it was nice to see them finally come around. But yes. So, the thing about Kings Row is that it's pretty good for goats. It's a pretty solid goats map. Yeah, you kind of like it for goats. So, yeah, it's no surprise to see the UK sort of favoring it. There was a lot of talk early on, by the way, in like so for clarification's sake, for clarity's sake, I was not part at all of any of the prep after the group stages. The guys like really turtled in and just focused super hard on improving the game. I was not involved in that at all. Okay, I will take zero credit there. I was watching a lot of the prep before the group stage, however. And there was a lot of talk sort of early on of like, how do we want to approach things? And we did work on cycle comp a huge amount. Before basically settling in the fact that, well, Goats is just really fucking good. And a lot of the teams at the World Cup just aren't that good against Goats. So let's just practice Goats. And a lot of the practice partners we had available to us were like Eagle Gaming, for example, who were the best Goats team in the world. So if you can match them at Goats or do okay against them with Goats, then you're looking good. Okay. This team comp is the sort of the anti-Pharah team comp. Or rather, like the anti-Doomfist, anti-Pharah team comp that the UK have been opting for. Which is Kib on the Roadhog, Mikey A on the Sombra. And the idea is pretty simple. You either hack the Doomfist or you hack the Pharah, and that gives you a good way to deal with that problem, right? So it's a versatile little team comp. It's pretty good all round, and it also gives you a couple of nice options. Like, I am a big fan, by the way, of team comps like this one, because what you can do is what Mikey's doing here, which is you set up the Sombra on the point early, and if the enemy team tries to play like a high ground strat, then what you can do is you can hack the D.Va, and then everyone else just engages on the D.Va, and it just blows them up. You can see Mikey's looking for that. I think this is a slightly greedy position, but like, Jesus Christ. I'm going to go into Mikey's viewpoint, because I remember watching this replay and watching Mikey's viewpoint here, and just having like the tightest of buttholes. Because look at this. Like, space is spamming away. If any, it's like, fuck. But yeah, that's sort of the problem with this spot, right? Is the second he turns this way, the hat gets broken. But this retreat angle that space takes, I think, is freaking awful. He goes indoors, and what could very easily happen here, and what I was kind of hoping to see. It's cool that I can actually bring up the cursor, is that you could just see Team UK speed boost in after him and just chase him out, but looks like he doesn't. But this, honestly, isn't too bad of a position for the UK. And especially with Muma going in, like, this is the sort of position where Goats is okay. They've used a couple of cooldowns, so they can just retreat, wait by the time, let Boombox build a little bit. US not really getting anything, so the power spike for Goats, or tanky comps, Moira comps, is coming up with Coalescence coming online. So there are a lot of opportunities available to the UK at the moment. Going high ground here, I think, is also a very nice decision. This is the UK sort of crossing the T's and dotting the I's, I like to think, which is one of the hard parts about Goats, and I think this happens against South Korea, is you have to clear this high ground space of the Zen, and you can't do that without sending some, like, doing this entire rotation through the map, where you go through here, you come through here, rotate, go around, and then that's going to let you push the Zenyatta into the low ground, right? You have to push this Zen down, because if you don't, he's going to stay on the high ground and just shoot away at you and grind you down. There we go, back to full speed, and they see the Zens drop down. They're just going to collapse onto Muma. Muma just, like, it's not that Muma's, like, in a bad position, it's that Muma stays in a bad position. I'm actually curious to see, like, does he have jump cooldown? Like, what's happening here? Okay, he jumps up there, gets bounced down, and yeah, that jump was just silly. I don't understand that jump in the slightest. Because, like, to me, the best case scenario of this jump, like, if he got up there, then what's going to happen? Rodol's going to hook him. You know, he's going to get hooked and killed, so I don't understand that jump. I legitimately don't. And now he's just left, like, he's just dead. There's nothing he can do. There's the hello, goodbye. Losing the Winston is a really big deal. Sinatra misses with the punch, has to just bounce out, can do it safely. They don't have anywhere near EMP. Coalescence is about to come online as well. Mikey A drops down, but with Coalescence available, Boombox can basically put the end to this fight anytime he wants. Doesn't even need to. Is it still overconfidence or arrogance if you can back it up? I mean, fair, okay. Like, let me also touch on this narratively. Like, the US being confident is one thing. And I think the US deserved some confidence. And remember, like, the UK were the brash, bantery, confident team of the Paris group stage, right? We did it just as much as the US did it going in here. I think with the UK's confidence, it was very much outward-facing. It was very much, yeah, we can do it. Way out the lads. Like, it was very much that sort of thing. With the US, it was just sort of this very smug belief that, oh, yeah, no, this is going to be so easy. And then we're going to beat Korea, and then we're going to be just gods, and then Donald Trump is going to land in a helicopter and give us all $1 million houses or some shit. I don't know what they were expecting. They were expecting easy. It was not easy. And now that we've hit the streets phases, this is where Goat starts to shine. And the US do something which I think is, it smacks slightly of hubris. Don't get me wrong, the comp that they are running counters the UK comp, and you can see that the UK has reacted to this by swapping Kib straight away onto the Brigitte, because the US have gone Zen Goats. So now the UK are basically stuck on Moira Goats for this coming engagement with Boombox on the Moira. Zen Goats beats Moira Goats, just because the Zenyatta, like, gives you extra burst potential and gives you like, you can basically blow up fusions. Little do they know that fusions and Kib are fucking legendary together. The synergy these two have is insanely good. So the US just very aggressively break through. It's a good... Oh, that was a good camera shot. Very, very aggressive punch through, right? Using Smex's ult to do that. Mikey A has just swapped to the Zarya, so there's no need to hold on to it for a little while. Fusion's in a lot of trouble here. Managed to get saved by Cruz. Let's see how the rest of the fight plays out. The US is definitely stronger at the moment. They're sort of the power of Zen Goats kicking in, where Fusions just cannot survive all this stuff. And as a result, UK gets spawn held. And this spawn hold is going to go on for a little while. Because the danger of Goats is that when Goats gets rolling, you generally have like an answer to every single push. You can see the UK adapting, by the way. Boombox has now swapped off the Moira, has gone to Zen Goats of their own. But the US have resources. They have a Graviton Surge, they have Earth Shatter, they've got support ults coming up. They have ways of dealing with this. Boombox gets picked here. I actually can't remember what killed him. I'm guessing it's a Zen headshot, and then just wait for him to go through, and then Moth gets a finishing blow. Yeah, Zen headshot, Moth gets a finishing shot. And UK just don't even try. They just back away. They know this is a losing position. You can't win from this point. Kib gets killed. They're just trying to get back into spawn. There's a doorway over there, by the way. Yeah, don't forget about this doorway, guys. It's a good one. It's a good one to know about. Fusion should have backed up after being saved by the beat drop. He does, but he's got a Discord orb on him and he's surrounded by enemies. He's not going to survive. So US have tons of resources. Like, again, winning position for the US. The UK just need to play the economy game at this point. Like, you just got to sort of endure and ride this out. And this is where I think the UK get a bit, US get a big for their boots. Like, I imagine in game, this is where the US think this is going to plan. Right, this is all going to plan. We're going to beat the UK easily. We're spawn camping them. Lol. This is how this works. This is how this story goes. The issue here is that the UK have been practicing goats non-fucking stop, and hopefully have enough level-headedness to realize that this is how it goes. Right, when you fall behind in economy with goats on goats, you are going to lose fights. It's pretty straightforward. Unless you get like a miracle pick, you're just going to lose fights. Shadow comes through, manages to get Cruz, turns into a couple of kills. Okay, US used Rally, they used Shadow. They still have 3 ults in the bag. United Kingdom, though, now have Grav, they have Trance, they're going to have Sound Barrier soon, and they have Shadow. So now the economy is starting to even up. So now the United Kingdom are actually playing to win fights, rather than just going through economy, right? This is very, very different. Very, very intelligent movement here. This is very... I sense Hayes' hand in this. This is like a very, very Hayes thing to do. Which is to flip the map, right? We call this flipping the map. Okay, US are defending. They're playing from a defensive position. What are we going to do? We're going to flip the map on them. We're going to move it so that we then have the defender's position, which is generally in Overwatch, generally speaking, has the advantage. So now the UK can either drop down and come in through the choke and just engage into the open field, which Goats is actually pretty good at doing, or we can just engage on them straight away from the higher ground. You can see Smex pushing around already. So now it's like the positions have been reversed. Right? So now, well, the goal is clear, right? Muma, they've managed to get out the Zarya bubble, and Fusions is just looking for it. Grav goes in, because they managed to actually just catch... catching the Brig and the Rhine is definitely more than enough. Can they convert it into kills? Trance comes through, Grav comes through. Diva Bomb just... Space has very good Diva Bombs. This is not one of them. Let's... I need to get ready. And brace yourselves. I'm waiting for it. There it goes. It's almost there. It's almost in. There it goes. Feels bad, man. Right. Yeah, that did not go to plan. Fusions. Oh, right on top of Moth. UK instant focus. I love that. That's so perfect. And so, yeah, okay, this spawn camp, right? It looked really, really bad for a second or two, right? It looked really bad for the UK. They got spawn held over and over and over again. But if you are in the fucking know, if you understand how the game works, if you understand how Goats works, it really wasn't that bad. I'm going to play this through 2x speed and, like, just so you guys can understand it fully, because this is kind of important to understand, because I've seen a lot of people get very gloaty about this spawn camp. It really is not that fucking dire. It really, really is not. Because what you're seeing here is economy play. Economy-based play, where the US are spending resources, spending resources, spending resources, spending resources. And the UK are just building, 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 and building. So, UK push out. Looking for angles, fight, fight, fight. Grav, I think Brigitte ult. No, this is just the Grav. Okay, that's actually nice from the US. They just want to use 1 ult per fight. UK building, they have a Grav of their own now. They need more pieces to be able to take a proper fight, though. You need more than just 1 ult when you're going Goats versus Goats, usually. when the enemy team has ults of their own. Earthshadow comes out, doesn't get it, Brig ult, there goes 2 more ults. Okay, now they've got 3, and the UK have equalized. And now it's a bit different. Is daft of them spawn camp? Not necessarily, actually. Goats is a comp that you can play from this position. I think it is daft of them to let the UK do this, and then let the UK get in through here and here. The UK just take initiative, and I've said this quite a lot in my reviews, which is that whoever engages first generally has a huge advantage. So the US needed to do something now, right? Before the UK can execute on any kind of plans. It looks like the UK are trying to get Kib and Fusions in positions, or just trying to get Fusion in place, but instead they just managed to get these two stuck. And then, okay, the UK have taken initiative. Trance, counter-trance, Diva Bomb. If this Diva Bomb landed properly, that would have actually been that, perhaps. Maybe Mikey could have blocked it. Zarya Bubbles are deceptively good at blocking Diva Bombs. And then, sure, they get rid of it, but the Earthshadow is enough to get that kill, and then that's going to break the UK out of this position. UK used a lot of resources to break the spawn camp, but it really isn't as bad as it looks. So now the UK have broken free. They have Diva Bomb. They used their support ultimates to get out, but the US used some of theirs. They do have Sound Barrier coming back into it. They do have a lot of resources to sort of keep this one going. But momentum is a kind of a big deal in Goats. And one of the hard things to deal with as well is, like, this narrow space is very difficult to push into against Goats. So the US are just going to go straight for it. Going to use Rally, push in. And they can absolutely take this fight. They know they have the resource advantage. UK is just going to peel back, try and buy some time. Beautiful stun on Kib. Kib's almost dead, just survives. Earthshadow's not too bad, but Sound Barrier used to commit. Muma uses Earthshadow as well. Kind of a neutral fight for the UK, right? Doesn't really cost them anything. Smex is getting delayed, which is a huge pain in the ass, but doesn't cost them anything. US use 2 ults. US have Raucous coming along, but Boombox is ready to counter. Grabs on both sides.
60 seconds.
It's actually a pretty even position at this point. Alright then. UK getting in position, Notice Mikey A building up here. I'm actually curious, I'm going to slow it down just to take a quick look. Sinatra is on 17%, Mikey A is on 38%. Initiative being taken by Sinatra, catches just fusions. That's good enough. Quite often. The downside here is that there's enough, like, they didn't burn enough cooldowns. That's really unfortunate, by the way. You can see Mikey go for the bubble, but Boombox just steals it. The only issue here is, like, no cooldowns we used. So if you look, Mikey has both of his bubbles. Let's check Kib. Kib has his armor pack. Boombox is going to have Trance. Cruz has Amp It Up. Smex has all of his defense matrix, right? It is very, very difficult to transition into a kill with Goats when everybody has a cooldown. So this grab comes in, and honestly, this kill is very, very difficult to get. And I think even without Transcendence, Fusions might be able to survive this. If the bubble goes through, if the armor pack goes through, if all the support mechanisms go through, Fusions probably survives this. So US get 0 value out of this grab. Counter grab comes in because space is facing the wrong direction. They get space into it. Trance comes through. Is the DPS enough? Diva Bomb goes in because, hey, that I win button is available to them. Gets rid of Muma. This has set Fusions up. Now Fusions could buy his time. He's looking for it, he's looking for it, he's looking for it, he's looking for it, gets it. Stalls up the fight, but Kib, well, Rally's going off on both sides. Losing Cruz is a very big deal here, by the way. The Lucio is integral to a lot of what's going on here in terms of just providing constant healing, providing speed boost, providing mobility. The US need to completely capitalize on this right now. I need to get a bunch of kills. But I remember, is this where I remember? Is this where Raucous just, like, doesn't get 1% of his ult charge? Where you just get into this protracted poke war, and it feels like the US need to be taking advantage of this moment, right? But they're not. They're playing a little bit too slow for my tastes here. They need to be doing something, need to be doing something, need to be doing something. Don't do anything. Beauty of an Earthshadow. Crew's going to keep things alive. Cruz juking on the point. They got to get Cruz off the point. Cruz is too good for that. And then this, I remember watching this moment, and this is like the finest of margins. Raucous is integral in this coming fight, right? Boombox has just used Transcendence to sort of keep this fight going for the UK. This is a desperate moment. The US have a win condition. It's a very, very simple win condition. Raucous has to get 8% ult charge. 8% ult charge. 2% ult charge. If the US Transcendence here, they win at this point. So let's see what happens. Well, there's a Zarya bubble. There's a Kib. There's a Kibbers in the way. Zarya bubble. Has to reload. Has to reload. Can't do any damage. There's nothing for him to kick. Cruz is still in the fucking backlines. Somehow, Cruz is still alive back there. And I'm so curious. It's like, is there any moment here where Raucus needed to reload? Or could have taken a reload that could have made a huge difference? One more hit shot. One more hit incident would Raucus have trans if got it? 100%. 100 fucking percent you trans here. Like, just one more hit shot. Like, if that bubble wasn't there, yeah, I think you just trance here. There's a very good chance Sinatra just kills everybody if you trance here. He's on the 100% charge. Sinatra would at least give you a lot of momentum. It might not be as done and dusted as I'm making it out to be, but it is pretty fucking important. Mikey clearing through. Payload rolls forward. Ultimately, like, in full context, it doesn't completely matter, but it still gives you more space, right? This is still going to be pushed further. To the credit, the US now have a Transcendence going into a team with no support ults. They know that they can just take this final fight at the end of second. This is usually where Kingsrow gets held, if it's going to get held anywhere. So they can just go and engage. Raucus just Transcendences. Team runs in, fights, engages super hard. Just has to focus one target down, kill it. Shadow comes through as well. Easy. Right? But the UK finish with a respectable end of second. There's a lot of, like, I think, scrapping at the end of this, if I remember right. There's the grabs. There we go. Done. It was a 3v5 though. Yeah, but a 3v5 with Transcendence is a big fucking deal. With a Transcendence and 100% charge Zarya, that's a lot. And the point isn't, oh, if he got trance at like the precise moment where he was on 99%, it's if you landed one more shot earlier, he would have had trance when maybe it was a 4 versus 5, maybe it was a 5 versus 5. The narrow margins of the Zarya bubble stopping it at the last possible second, but also all the things leading up to that point, a couple of missed shots from Raucus perhaps, maybe being out of position, not getting on to Cruz on the back line. Like, Cruz staying on that back line and surviving meant that he was in position to finish off Raucus before he could do anything. There's just a lot of little things that don't quite work out, and it's such a fine fucking margin, and I love that. I love that about this game sometimes. Okay. Thank you, Mumphies. Very appreciated. Oh, we're still on 2 times speed. Let's slow it down now. So, United States coming out with what we call Cycle Comp. Just very, very, very quickly, if you aren't familiar with Cycle Comp has 2 very simple win conditions. You have Nano Boosts and you have EMPs. You want to use one of these, 1 per fight. I remember how, like, hearing Hayes emphasize this point so often, right? To the degree that I was reluctant to emphasize it when I was doing probing and stuff, because I don't want other people to be aware of this fact before we played in this group stage. Thankfully, as you'll see later on, the US weren't aware of this fact, or weren't as aware of this fact as perhaps they should have fucking been. Because if you use both per fight, you will lose the next fight. It is 100% your win condition. 100 fucking percent your win condition. UK, doing something spicy. I love this sort of stuff. This is something that we actually really highlighted with Team UK, which is, don't be afraid to do things like this. Hide around a corner, stay out of line of sight, and then just engage on the back line. Just don't do it every time, but do it every so often. Throw the enemy off balance. Then hold normally, and just hold the choke, or hold around the back of the hotel. They just run into Raucus. He's in range, just gets dove on. Now, without the Ana there, it is very difficult to beat goats. You need that anti-heal grenade to land. You need something big to come off the back of it. It's not the biggest deal in the world for the US because they can just still play to build EMP and build nano boost, but it does slow things down because, of course, you've lost your Ana. And then the United States do something fucking bizarre. Something that I think is completely and utterly silly of them to do, which is go, oh, we'll beat the UK playing goats. The reason why I highlight this as a bad decision, right, is let's take a moment. Let's ignore this. As exciting as all this is, this is pretty cool, right? This is a big fight in Overwatch. That's awesome. But let's think about the tactical level. You have to get the payload to here. You have what, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes to do it with how payload works. I think it's 6 minutes if you capture point A. So what that means is you need to win let's see. Win one team fight, you take point A. Okay? Win a second team fight, you get to about here. Win a third team fight, and you'll get to here. Win a fourth team fight, maybe, if you need it. Right? So you might need to win 14 fights. 6 minutes, 14 fights you need to win. That means you need 6 EMPs and 6 Dragon Blades, stuff like that. So it's like, if the US have been practicing their cycle comp a lot and been practicing like getting these really good EMPs and getting value out of those EMPs, you can build 4 EMPs in the time it takes. Don't get me wrong, Goats is difficult to beat with cycle comp, but it's very doable. Like, Arrow is not wrong in saying that Goats is beatable with non-Goats comps. And the US, I think, if I had to speculate, I don't know, but if I had to speculate, I suspect that the US practiced cycle comp and had practice partners that were not playing Goats far, far more. So you play what you fucking know. Instead, they decide to match the UK and mirror the UK, thinking, oh, well, we'll just outskill them. They're just Contenders players, or Contenders Trials players, because it's mostly British Hurricane. We're fucking Overwatch League big shots. What the fuck do these guys know? Well then, okay. By the way, just Reinhardt 2018. So first and foremost, this charge is just completely ridiculous out of Muma. I hate this charge so much. It's like, the Zarya bubble's fine, but they literally just like blast through it, and I think Kib just countercharges it anyway. So they just blow it up. And then this hammer hit here, oh my god. Reinhardt, stop being made out of helium. Muma's just dead. Lose your Reinhardt, you lose the fight. Done. Oh, we're the goat of goats. Honestly, France, like, I was so disappointed. I don't know why Paris didn't play, Paris. I don't know why France didn't play more goats. It really pissed me off. Paris's goats was fucking amazing. Play Nico, play Poco. Play Nico on Diva, play Poco on Zarya, and just play that. They were so fucking good. I think they would have smashed Canada. I don't know why they were playing AKM on all the shit that AKM was playing. Play Nico Poco. Trust me, it's so good. So now it's like economy advantage. Now, don't get me wrong, this is Zen, like, this is part of why Zen Goats is so fucking good, by the way, because this coalescence advantage doesn't really translate into anything, right? And the Diva combo is slow, Smex doesn't quite have the ult, so this doesn't quite work out. I was crapping myself when I saw this, because this is like game winning. And then Muma fucks up. How does Muma fuck up? So when you, let's go forward, where's the graph? It's not entirely Muma's fault, like, this is a little bit slow out of space. Space isn't just quite ready. So the way that you win in this moment is you get rid of the Reinhardt by either stunning him or you charge him out of the graph. The Diva one was a touch late though. The Zarya bubbles are there in place. And then the charge just like launches everybody in front of the bomb. And just puts Fusions like in place where he needs to be. So he whiffs the charge, and as a result, Fusions is in place. The combo's a little bit late. I think if the US were just a little bit more patient and let Space just get that 1% of ult, this could have gone very differently. Because notice that the UK's cooldowns, and this is like really finesse stuff. Notice what Mikey A does as he suspects the combo's coming in. You'll be amazed at how well this works in protecting people from this Diva combo, where you put bubble, Zarya bubble, and other bubble, and so you have like a wall of bubbles, and the Brigitte shield and the Rhine barrier. There's actually a lot in the way, but yeah, this just goes completely wrong. Fusions gets barrier up. UK survives somehow. Miracle Earth Shatter. Was that a stun combo? Let's take a look. Most of these were. Was this just a read? Was this just fuck it, I'm doing it? Nope. Look at that coordination. Look at that coordination. Look how good that fucking is. Look how on time. Like, this is 2.5 speed. Right? 2.5 speed. Thank you, Ezretha. It's very appreciated.
Great content is always less than 3.
Look at this timing. Look at the patience. Like, they want to do it. It's like, you know, wombo combo. Let's go. Kib's in position. Boom. Stun hits. Earth Shatter hits. Everybody taken out. You know, as much as I love Chris, the major advantage, and we actually did discuss this when we were picking main tank, this was discussed quite a lot, which is the Kib Fusion synergy was always incredible. Always incredible. And you can see it just working here. It is so precise and so good and so clean. There's just no reacting to it. And as a result, fusions just kept getting shatter after shatter after shatter after shatter. And it looks like a fluke to me, Kappa. I know there's a Kappa there, but I'll take it anyway. I'll bite anyway and say that it happens so often. Notice what the US doesn't have. Notice where is it? Hydration. Hydration, what you doing, lad? He's just swinging away. Notice the difference? Notice that there's no fucking Brigitte involved in this combo? Unfortunately, Mikey does, like, throw a grab down Space's throat, but ultimately... Oh, look. Oh, look. Look who's getting spawn camped now. And look who's getting spawn camped when there isn't, like, a massive ult advantage, by the way. Lol. Lol. I could never understand the US being so proud and having so much pride in their country, but now, as a European, I finally think I get it, just because the US is so fucking free. You do think that's the best goats? France. France humiliated our goats. Don't get me, like, there was a good amount of practice time, but I don't get why France didn't play goats. I need to, like, grab AlphaCast or some shit and just go, like, why didn't your team play goats? Or just, like, Messi's D-Gun. Why weren't you just playing fucking Poco and Nico every map and just play goats? Finland's goats? Finland just looked bad. I don't know what happened to Finland. I don't know if Finland really tried. Okay. Risky times for the UK. Risky times for the UK. Alright, let's go back here. Kib gets slow. Grav comes through. They end up getting a kill. Raucus goes down, which is kind of a big deal. Boombox manages to get everybody out there with a beautiful coalescence. Boombox really good at these coalescences. I mean, it's not the hardest ultimate to execute on, but he does get a lot of value out of it repeatedly. Smex is going to buy some time, so this is just going to give people a little bit of time to re-engage. Space has to back away. Mikey gets a good chunk of damage onto him. So all this damage, like, Mikey's doing a lot of work here. And this is the one failing of the World Cup viewer. I wish I had access to stats. I wish I could press tab and go, Mikey, he's done this much damage. But unfortunately, I don't have that. This is danger now for the UK. Luckily, Sound Barrier comes up just in time. Keeps people alive. The Sound Barrier buff. Perfect. Beautiful. Saito didn't attend BlizzCon. Did he not? So, okay, US have advantage at this point, right? US have advantage, but they've used their support ultimates in this fight. Remember all that damage I mentioned Mikey A doing earlier? The overengage that Space had? This is the wages of that. Right? Do you want to know where that grab comes from? Not here. A little bit further back. Let's go all the way back to here. Right, this is after the US have used their grab. This ult, Space engages super hard here. Gets split from his team, and look who's down there. Look at that handsome Welsh lad. Look at that handsome Welsh boy. 400 damage. Mostly done by the Zarya. Builds up a huge amount of Graviton Surge. Not really getting it from anywhere else. The Reinhardt barrier's in the way. Gets stunned up. Sound Barrier. Not really building up a huge amount now, but has Grav. Grav comes in. There's no counters left. GG. Thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. UK now have 4 ultimates going into the final fight. Going to play close. US have one more potential chance. They know they're running into ultimates here, and that's never a good position to be. UK take the engage nice and early. Even if the US get onto the point, they haven't got enough progress to really reliably flip it, so Space goes all the way through. Oh look, Mikey's got a new battery. Oh god. And there we go. I think that's a shame that Saito didn't attend BlizzCon. Isn't he? He's coaching for Paris, isn't he? Oh, yeah. This is just the end of the map. I'm too used to having like a play of the game and having to skip through that. Space's positioning was lazy for most of the series. I would agree. I think that Space didn't give enough respect at all. And Mikey just punished it and fed off him, and that converts into kills. And it not only converts into kills, but it converts into Graviton Surges, which then converts into wins. Mikey blocks a shatter as well for the rest of the team. Don't, like, you'd be surprised how often shit like that happens with Zarya. Bubbles are really good, guys. Especially with the Diva bombs and stuff. Okay, I want to test something. How far can I zoom out? How far can we go? Wow. This is pretty far. What was your reaction to the UK's win on USA? I think I shouted very loud. I missed the first half of the series as well, so I didn't get to see like the UK getting pounded on Ilios, or like the first half of King's Row or any of that. We can just keep fucking going. Wow. We just keep on going. Okay, right, we're back in. So, UK bringing out a different style. For everyone saying, oh, the UK just play goats. No, they actually play double sniper here. This is not uncommon on this map. Double sniper, you take position. The only thing that's really uncommon is this. The Mercy synergizes super well with both of the snipers. She gives like a lot of extra damage to both Hanzo and to Widow. You're often in position where you can get reses off, and in 2CP it's very, very important to, like, if you lose someone in 2CP and you go to a 5 versus 6, the fight is basically over. Mercy gives you insurance against that. You have ways of just dealing with that, so she gives you a lot of value in that regard as well. Cruz also plays like a really fucking good Mercy. We'll be highlighting that a lot. The other anomaly is this, which is Sinatra. If goats stay irrelevant until I want to see fusions goats with Fraggy and Poco, I'd be surprised if Fraggy still gets played, to be honest. I really don't know if he will be. Oh, you mean... Okay, when you say fusions, do you mean Philadelphia Fusion, or do you mean fusions? Because, I imagine you mean Philadelphia Fusions, but, yeah, I don't know. It would be amazing if Fusion got on to Philadelphia Fusion. That would be fucking insane, but... The current rumor that I cannot confirm or deny is that he's going to Boston, I believe. Did Fraggy even get played season 1? Yes, he did. Right. So yeah, Soldier 76. Let's talk about the Soldier 76. Just let's pause it before any real fighting happens. Soldier 76 is an unusual pick in the pro level game, right? The reason why is actually pretty simple. Let's look at him. The reason why is actually pretty simple, which is that Soldier doesn't actually convert into kills very easily. So with a lot of heroes, you have a very quick way of turning something into a kill. Like Sombra can hack someone and that turns into a kill. McCree flashes someone, turns into a kill. Headshot someone, turns into a kill. Soldier doesn't quite do that. He doesn't do enough DPS where he very quickly turns stuff into kills. He's very good at sort of doing consistent damage output, but it doesn't kill people. It just does a lot of damage. So then. Confirmed there? Okay. There you go then. Fusions are 100% picked up by Boston. Isn't Mercy more beneficial for Hanzo? It's beneficial for both. She's gonna be plugged into Kib a lot. Like Cruz is gonna be constantly on Kib, especially when engages happen. He's gonna be just damage amping Storm Arrow. But yes, Soldier, like you're gonna see this happen quite a lot, where Soldier isn't actually gonna be super effective. Personally, I think that there is a place in Soldier for comps with like Anna Brig. If you play like Anna Brig Soldier or something like that, you can perhaps make that work where Soldier shores up some of the lack of healing, but that's like me just spitballing in my head. Early pick onto Kib, a little bit of a disaster, but this is why we have the Mercy. Oh look, tries to bash it away, it's not good enough. There we go, picked up. US needed to do more than that there, I think, but UK still just being allowed to play in a kind of free position. Yeah, they're just being uncontested at the moment. There we go, you can see ults building. Valkyrie is also like a better ult than you would think as well. I think Valkyrie gets a lot of undo stick. Okay, there we go. So first win condition gets achieved. Okay, Moth just farming off tanks. US going to be playing this passively. They're just going to build up a nano boost off the back of their main tanks. Just take a bunch of damage. This is the disadvantage of not having a Brig. You don't have the ability just to like hold something down and kill it. So yeah, the US just have a chance to just build up with Moth. Nano boost to Winston. Nano Winston. Incredibly good synergy. As a result, Mooma can just go ahead, hold left mouse button, and then it's just easy. So there we go. Keep this in mind, right? Nano Winston is really, really good. This is going to come back. This is going to come back as a point. Okay. Has me curious if anytime Soldier brought out if Ash can also try and take over a bit of his purpose. Ash to me is like an anti-clump and anti-tank hero. She's like anti-high pressure comp, which I think is really cool. Not really anti-dive, but anti-high pressure. McCree's more anti-dive, or anti-partial dive, or anti-like Tracer Genji dive, I guess, is how I phrase it. What it lets them do is it lets them buff McCree at being the anti-dive, and then you have Ash being more about anti sort of clumps, goats, anti-tank. So that's pretty cool. And it seems like Blizzard are making it a thing where, just to finish up this point, just before this next fight begins, it looks like Blizzard are making it a thing where fire damage does more damage to armor. So, like, Molten Core does more damage to armor, so now Ash's Dynamite will also burn and do more damage to armor. I think that's pretty cool. Was Moon playing poorly even on Winston? I don't think he was playing poorly on Winston, to be honest. I think he's playing fine on Winston. It's the main tank always looks bad against a well-played Goats comp. If you remember in Team UK versus France, how much shit Christopher got, that's because France played a really effective Goats. It's very hard to avoid. I don't think Mooma played especially badly. And he actually did some really, really good stuff throughout the series. So it's kind of easy to just like pin it on him, but that's kind of the simple conclusion that isn't quite accurate. Right then. So Valkyrie, I think, has been used, yes, to fuel this engage. Sinatra's just plugging away, doing some damage. You actually mentioned this at a very good time. This was a really stupid engage from Mooma. This was a bit over the top, especially as Mikey swapped onto the Brig. So Boombox just has tons of protection at the moment, and then he not only goes for this, but then he commits even harder to it, and that's kind of a waste, right? That's not really going to work when you have 3 supports and a Valkyrie just keeping him alive. The other thing I want to highlight during this moment is Kib catching Zachary. I think Zachary just gets really greedy here. That confirmed about Dynamite? I believe it is. That's what I've heard. The burn damage does more damage to armor. So Zachary does something kind of weird here. This is something that you should always be very careful of when playing Sombra against a Hanzo, which is just being over-aggressive and just staying out in the open too often.
I'm so happy
hey,
that this is finally making it into the game.
Tell me about it. It's so good. It's so nice to be able to do this shit, and just look at that. Zachary just gets picked off. Mooma, follow-up kill is very nice, but remember me talking about Mercy at the start? Got a Brig to support you, you got Smex to support you, 5 vs 6.
Distraction.
It's all good now. Thank you for the distraction as well. Sintalis, hey, it's good to see you, Sintalis. Right, this is what I was talking about with Soldier, by the way, which is that Soldier just lacks that finishing punch, right? He lacks the ability to convert into kills super easily, that a lot of other heroes have. Like, Sinatra is completely fucking uncontested, has superb tracking. Where's the kills? He's landing shots, he's doing what he needs to do, but there's just no conversion into kills here. Right, there's no conversion into anything happening, and now Fusion's just harassing him. Sure, the Transcendence comes up, but even before then, there should have been kills happening. Those don't quite end up manifesting. Something really weird happens here as well. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different here, and we're going to go back just a couple of seconds before this EMP. Right, good. We managed to get there. And we're going to do this, because I think this shows off what's about to happen quite nicely. Let's use this as a camera angle. So Fusions is pressuring out Sinatra, and Team UK have taken a position that is very, very unorthodox against a Sombra. Normally you wouldn't be able to do this. Sombra normally flips this health pack in here, and the supports for the defenders, in this case will be Raucous and Moth, would be playing in here and playing around this health pack. That health pack isn't flipped at the moment, so UK just push in, and they're playing from, like, they flip the map, effectively, right? Remember we talked about this concept earlier? And so it's coming back to sort of bite them. Zachary's got EMP, and he's going to go for it. And there we go. Catches most of the team, catches Boombox, but there's just no follow-up. Sinatra's too busy. Everyone else has been pushed away, and the map's been flipped. Smex has taken the point. Gives him a spot of trouble. Cruz is there just to pick him up. Notice Sinatra's position here. Notice how good this position is. Doesn't convert into any kills. UK playing relatively well in this sort of internal spot. EMP still running out. Raucous now in a really good position to get some kills. Kib manages to pick up one. Does Cruz have res? Yes, he does. There's the value. Oh, sorry, Mikey A managed to get taken down. There's the Nano Winston. Very, very powerful. A lot of focus going on him, though. There's the power of the Zenyatta Discord Orb. No follow-up, no support from his team. Sinatra is still just plinking away long distance. Like, let's go to Sinatra's viewpoint. I want to really sort of emphasize this point because this is a really, really, really good demonstration of like why Soldier doesn't get much play. If he was Widowmaker, if he was Hanzo, if he was even fucking McCree, maybe this would go better. Alright, so Diva1 pushes him out. Okay, he's back in position. Relatively uncontested. Slowly breaks the bubble. Boombox pressures him a little bit. Discord anti-healers on Team UK. But there's just nothing. There's no kills. If that was the Widowmaker. But just nothing. The rally basically counters on Nanomonkey. Yeah, rally is a good fucking ult. It felt like the US didn't do anything to confirm that fight. Like, it felt like Zachary EMP'd, but there was no follow-up. Then Muma goes in with Nano into a small room, but there's no follow-up. And then Soldier's just there shooting on the high ground, but not doing anything, and that's rough. To the US's credit. This is not, like, it's an okay snowball position for the UK, because they have 2 support ultimates, and they have, crucially, the Dragon Strike. So what you generally see happen is Kib will take position up here. The supports will play, like, you see them playing up here. They generally play down here, but both of these work. And you fire a Dragon Strike, like, through here. You effectively split the supports off from the team while you go and take the point, right? That's normally how Volskaya B works when you're trying to snowball it with a Hanzo. Let's see how it goes. Let's slap some coffee. Muma jumps in. Again, I don't know if Muma's just inting or if there was a plan here. Where was his support network? He doesn't have. Sinatra doesn't have heal pack. When did he use heal pack? He used it right away and it still just didn't save him. Space didn't save him. Nothing saved him. He just fucking exploded. This is now very, very difficult for the US, right? This is extremely hard. Because now you're fighting a 5 versus 6. You have spawn advantage, but the UK are going to at least get a third here, maybe 2/3. Not guaranteed that they're going to get all the way, but they are going to get something for this push. Muma comes back, manages to have ult, and this is going to buy them enough time to get respawns through. So there's just not enough follow-up damage coming out of Team UK to actually confirm this fight for the win. I'm actually kind of curious to see what happens with Kib. Kib is sort of the thing that needs to do a lot of damage here. Muma's trying, bless him, to do some work in the backline. Looks like Kib just gets tied up too much with Muma, and that lets the DPS and lets sort of the tanks push back onto the point. Muma absorbs a lot of attention, does his job as a main tank, and there we go. 1/3 gets taken, but you could have perhaps hoped for 2/3 off the back of that fight. Muma is not in line of sight of Moth. That is actually a very good point. That's actually an excellent point. This is good knowledge for you if you're playing on ladder and you have an Anna with you. This is very, very important to understand. It's super key to understand this and appreciate this. When you're playing with an Anna, like, I'm going to pause. Alright, so we have the Anna here, and I'm going to zoom all the way out, and then I'm going to press this button and do this. Right, so you have the Anna, you have Moth there, and let's put the camera like here. What this means is that when you're playing with the Anna, you are playing in the Anna's line of sight. You have to play as much in the Anna's line of sight as possible. So you need to play in this space here. The moment you start playing around here, or around here, you actually start losing fights. The Anna just becomes completely, like, inert in fights, and this is something that we practice a lot in Team UK, and we emphasize a lot in Team UK, which is that when you are playing, when Boom is on Anna, you play where Boom is looking. You don't leave that space for, like, more than a couple of seconds. You have to play where the Anna can reach you. And you can't expect, you cannot expect Moth to go, oh, well, I'm going to run all the way around here so I have line of sight in this angle, right? He's not going to do that. So it's very, very important to appreciate where Moth is standing, and through scrims, and this is done in scrims, to know where Moth is going to be positioned relative to where everyone else can play. You need to know that, okay, Moth is going to play from here, so we can play in, like, all of this space, basically. You can play in this ground as well. All right, you can play in all of this ground and all of this ground, and that's where you can play, because Moth can, like, bounce back and forth between here, and that's where he's going to be. What that means is when you know that and appreciate that, that means you know, well, it's less likely for you to just get rinsed and just jump into a stupid place. So Muma maybe with a rush of blood to the head, but it's rough, man. Okay, Kip still has this Dragon Strike, by the way. He still hasn't had a chance to use it yet. Team UK, bit of a spotty first push, but this is a good position for it. There goes 2 ultimates. Do you remember me talking about cycle comp? Do you remember me talking about how important it is to only use one of those? What just happened, ladies and gentlemen? What just occurred in this fight? Please, just, you know, spell it out for me. I'm an idiot. Let's jump aboard with Zachary. What did Team USA specifically do in this fight that's going to mean that they guaranteed lose the next fight with this team comp? Oh look, Nano Boost goes in. EMP goes in. And it was at that moment, ladies and gentlemen, that we knew that this is frickin' over. Because the issue that the US face now is how do you win a team fight with these resources? How do you win? Where does the win come from? How do you rely on Sombra to do enough damage to brig Lucio Zen? Do you hope that Sinatra stuns someone, maybe? Could happen, maybe. Moth gets a great anti-heal grenade. Those are kind of your win conditions. Smex can nullify one. Mikey can nullify another. Zachary hasn't been blowing everyone's socks off and hasn't been dominating on the Sombra. Tough. A lot of ultimates coming online for Team UK. United States blew it with using both of their crucial ultimates in the last fight. This fight is going to be difficult. It's a good hack. Can't really capitalize on it. And remember, got to play in the Anna's line of sight, so Muma can't extend down that corridor. Smex is safe. Shot comes through. Kib gets the kill. Dragon Strike comes through. Forces out early Transcendence. This means that Boombox can now just retaliate. He just buys his time. Wait. Okay, re-engage. Don't need it yet. Don't need it yet. Don't need it yet. Don't need it yet. Just holding on to it. Nice and patient. Okay, now you might need it. It's good anti-heal grenade, but there's just not enough follow-up. Zachary has swapped very wisely onto the Doomfist, by the way. And there we go. And now, by the way, just for extra safety, this mad lad here pretty much has his ult. See how that one misstep makes a huge difference? I think the play, if one exists, is to try and get Brigands and ults and hope that they keep you alive long enough that either Nano or EMP comes back up. The issue there is that the enemy team is going to have their ults. So you trance, and then they just trance, and then you don't do any damage. So it's like... And the UK very, very wisely realized, oh, they've EMP'd and nanoed. So they just go, oh, well, fuck it. Congratulations, you win the fight. To quote the LOL thing, you wear the crown. Right, you get to win the fight. Well done. And then we win the next one. So if the enemy is intelligent and has practiced cycle comp and knows how it works and has an intelligent coach called Hayes who points this shit out to the team over and over and goes, don't fucking do this, then when the enemy does it, you go, oh, guess what? We know what you've just done. And then you end up winning the fight. Okay. Super interesting to me. To the degree where I'm probably going to, I'll send Cruz a message or some shit to get his thoughts, or Hayes or something like that, because the Mercy on defense I find fascinating. Again, I mentioned the advantages that Mercy gives you with the ability to res people and stuff like that, but one of the hard parts about this is that you have Boombox on the Ana, and so you can see Boombox is positioned here. Let's pause it as the thing opens up. Right. Let's bring this visual up so it's nice and clear for everyone. Okay? So the crucial part of Volskaya, if I do this, I get the mouse back. The crucial part about Volskaya is this. You have Widow and Ana, and they're largely going to be playing along this back C sort of area. So what you can traditionally do is you put a Lucio here, and the Lucio basically acts as peel and a chaperone to make sure that these two lovely sniper ladies have all the protection they need. Or you can put a Zenyatta up there, and same philosophy, right? You have the Lucio there to act as peel, to act as mobility for these heroes that don't typically have mobility. The issue with the Mercy is that Ana is kind of screwed. Because if a dive comes in on this back line, Widowmaker can just hop here and then grapple and she's fine. Mercy can follow or just zap over here or just dip over there. Ana can't do anything. So a dive on this back line is actually very, very powerful. And I'm super curious to see how the UK react to that. How do they solve this problem? Okay, let's roll it out. The US doing something slightly interesting. Sinatra. I always doubt myself when I make statements like this, but Sinatra is the one that like cost $150,000, right, for his Tracer play. So we're about to see $150,000 worth of Tracer. Ideally. And so what we're looking at here, this is actually very typical. Like, this is old-fashioned Volskaya. This is like old-school Volskaya, where you send the Tracer around to the back lines, and then you traditionally send people in on the front lines and like box people in a room. So this was kind of warmed my heart to see, and you can see the problem here, like Boombox getting pushed. I would have liked to see Sinatra just stay on Boombox here. I think Boombox is fucked, right? He's just sort of stuck in his own. Mercy can come back and support him, but that's Mercy not supporting the front line, but he just bounces away. Kib finds a kill. Lurl. So good sleep dart on fusions. Some extra protection. They don't really have any damage to confirm that into a kill. Zachary's super low as well. Isn't building up very well at all. Has decided to swap to Widowmaker to try and counter the double sniper. So we have solo Zachary against Mikey A and Kib. Don't get me wrong, Mikey A and Kib are not names that are going to blow the Widowmaker sort of pro-level community. It's not going to blow them away, right? But I will say, never fucking underestimate Kib's Hanzo. And Mikey A has a habit of hitting very clutch shots. Oh god, he's so close on Raucous there. As a result, with no Widow, with no Sombrele, you can see the UK reacts to this, and I really like the UK reaction to this, which is just to play more aggressively. Fusions can get away with a lot more, stay in a lot more, and they just stay in and play aggressive. And like, where's the support here? So let's have a look at Raucous. What happened to Raucous during this? Because Raucous is the one that needs to keep these alive. Is it just Smex, or is it Kib pressuring him out? Is it a bubble? The bubble's doing wonders there. So Space and Moonmat need to get out, or there needs to be DPS breaking this bubble. Notice how useless the Ana is. Notice what a good job Fusions has done to split this. Grenade can't come through. Moth can't help them. That's so good. Look at that. Look at that. Why not swapping KSB if you're going to run double sniper for the entire map? Because they don't run double sniper for the entire map. And it's easier for teamwork and synergy just to play the same 6. KSB, like, here's the dirty secret that's not really a dirty secret, and I think Hayes has said this outright, which is that the opportunity for KSB to play was more for the group stages and was more just to show, like, hey, KSB is like, this is young new talent in the UK. Pay attention to this guy. He's really fucking good. But the core of the team was always sort of this 6. And KSB maybe popping in here and there. If the meta swung heavily towards a Widow-dominated meta, there was a very good chance that KSB would have been played more. Don't get me wrong, but as the meta as it is, yeah. Okay, something really stupid has just happened. So remember me saying that there's a really, really powerful combo with Ana and with Winston? Muma has opted to go for the Hammond. It's going to kind of work out for them at the moment. Largely because Sinatra is a really fucking good Tracer. Less because of the Hammond. It's going to work out for them for now, though. I'm going to spoil that much. But I'm just sort of prefacing a point. Because the issue with Hammond is this. 1, he's hard countered by Sombra, so that's generally why he doesn't see a lot of play. 2, he is... he doesn't finish stuff super well. I think that's fair to say. He doesn't have like a big way of ending a fight. The ultimate isn't bad, and this is where Sinatra pops off, by the way. Oop. So we're going to jump aboard with Sinatra and just... We're going to watch him miss a pulse bomb and then just kill everybody. It's pretty great. Hammond doesn't have like a big wombo combo, and we're going to see this happen a few times where we get Nano Hammond, and it is entirely lackluster. So yeah, there's 150k pulse bomb for you, but then just this is really impressive and really nice to behold. Like, this is legitimately a really fucking good play. So Sinatra, pretty good. Infrasight popped on both sides, but notice that Mikey hasn't left spawn. Mikey is just stood in spawn because they're checking to see if Muma's swapping. He's not swapping. Okay, we'll bring out the counter in theory to this menace, this hamster menace. So there's the initiation with the Dragon Strike with the Nano Boost as well. Beautiful shots out of Boombox. Holy shit! God, he's so good. Boombox is like quietly one of the best players in Overwatch League, in my opinion. Sometimes can be a little bit inconsistent, but he's just... Shot on Zachary, almost gets a kill, almost gets a shot on the Moth, and then just manages to support regardless. So now they have this constant problem to deal with of this Tracer in the backline, and that's sort of causing issues. It's distracted for too long, I think, and now like there's a lack of healing. Smex goes down as a result, has to use bomb early. So Boombox, I think, maybe getting a little bit too hungry there for the Tracer. That's a problem. That Diva Bomb could have been very useful. Right, there's a lack of healing happening there. Valkyrie comes out from the offensive as they want to continue pushing on this. Sinatra's gone down though, Fusions finds more kills, and there we go, UK just continues to hold. Where did that go so wrong? I think it's because Zachary's just not doing anything. Being fair, Fusions is pressuring the hell out of him, and then I think just Kib hits Sinatra with an arrow, I think intended for Zachary, so good job there, and then it's just too much pressure. So yeah, this Widow is not working. Going to Overwatch League, everyone was watching Boombox, he was just overtaken because of Jonak. Yeah, Jonak is Boombox 2.0. Like, the same thing, like a high DPS Zenyatta player, but he just does more. Okay, United States changing things up, brings out the Genji. I think it's a fine adaptation. I think staying on this is greedy as fuck. Oh, look. Mikey, please, enjoy your free EMP. You've managed to hack Hammond once. There's 20% ultimate charge for you. Fortunately, we have a big fight on the point. So this is where the minefield is actually pretty good. And the US actually do get a good dive sort of off the back of it. EMP is not too bad, but Nano Brig just doesn't give a shit. And this is one of the good nano boosts of the game. So Nano Brig just goes in, does work, pushes the UK off point. There's a minefield on point as well. There's no real good options for the UK kind of left. Mikey A ends up getting nanoed on Sombra, which against a Brig isn't going to do much. So yeah, it sort of all starts to go wrong pretty badly. So there we go. I think just they just a little bit too aggressive positioning, or they were allowed to get too much aggressive positioning. Sinatra was allowed to get too far in, and maybe the UK should have swapped to a Brig at some point. And maybe pull Kib off the Hanzo and pull him onto a Brig a touch earlier when they go Genji Brig. You kind of need something to counter it. But yeah. And so now the US are going to do something bizarre, I find bizarre, which is Sinatra is going to play Hammond. EMP was mostly for the mines. I think EMP is fine. Like, EMP in the mines is fine if you want to retake and push back on the point. It's just that EMP doesn't affect the Nano Brig at all. Like, it is such a high pressure thing. And you're going to see a lot of spotty nanos start to come out. Primarily going on to this guy. This hamstery boy. UK with a slight adaptation. And this adaptation is going to pay off, like, massively, which is they're going to open up with Mikey A on the Brig instead of playing him on the Widow. Probably anticipating the Sombra, somewhat. But against a Hammond, it's also value, right? This is super high value. This is just silly. I think it's just an arrow hit and then greedy hack for Smex, and that's just not going to work out. Losing the Sombra early is a huge kill. Hammond goes in, does a bunch of damage, doesn't manage to kill Cruz because you've got triple supports. Hammond Winston will not kill through what you are looking at, right? It will not kill through Brig, Mercy, and a Zen. As long as people are looking after each other. Like, there's not even a Zarya involved here, and it's still tough. Now, the US do have, like, a very fast comp. They can roll out again, but the same problem still kind of exists, right? Sinatra goes in and just instantly gets pushed out, doesn't really do anything. Zachary's Doomfist doesn't hit anything from the looks of things. Literal complete whiff. And even if he hit the Mercy there, I don't think he could convert that into a kill, so... yeah. UK just positioned very well, reacted very well. Pull themselves away from the threat, let it bait into them, basically. Muma goes in with a nano, but there's just not enough, really, there. Beautiful anti-nade, but still, it's just not enough. This is now danger for the US, because the UK just took the point with barely using any ults. Like, I think Kib dragoned, but that's it. So the UK now have 5 ults, and the US are scrambling to figure out what the fuck are we going to do. They just use Nano Boost. That's trouble. Why is this man still on a hamster? I don't fucking know. I don't know. This to me is like one of those moments where this feels like hubris. And you're going to see a game of pool be played, or pinball perhaps, as you get the ding, ding, ding. Oh, there's the mines. UK just doesn't really give a fuck. Boombox goes in, clears most of it. Okay, regroup. Goes in, and then just... Bing, bong, 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 bong. Jackpot. Bonus points. Back corner pocket. Beautifully done. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't understand. Space with the fucking hero play. So this is the second time that Space potentially bails out the US from a disaster. If you remember on Temple of Anubis against Canada, Space did the same. With this just god tier bomb. Like this is amazing. This could not be better positioned and completely saved the US. This was bad positioning from the UK. There's no good answer to that. Like, this is fine positioning. This is sort of where you expect. It's this reaction that sort of gets them killed. But honestly, that's a fair enough reaction. And there's just like, oh fuck. It's an amazing bomb. To get that bomb off that at that position at that time is so difficult. Because he's pushed it through the entire enemy team and managed to land it perfectly like here. It's really, really good. Bit of a greedy Dragon Blade there. Perhaps. The UK might get one more bite of the cherry here. But goes for it anyway. I'm going to spoil things. The UK are going to manage to retouch, but it's not really going to amount to anything. Like, they have to spend so much just trying to touch that it's not going to turn into anything. I still hate the Hammond pick. I would have preferred literally anything. UK managed to touch, but it's literal just 2 CP lulling. As they touch and touch and touch and touch, but they never get momentum, never get traction. They wanted to still play anti-goats, why not play Hydration over Sinatra? I imagine because they wanted Sinatra's Tracer. The question is, why are they playing Zachary in my mind? And so now, this is where I lost my mind watching this and thought, like, what the fuck are the US doing? They're trying to throw. What the hell? So basically, the US has a win condition now. They have 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, 4 minutes, which is like a lot of time. 4 minutes is pretty good. They have to take first, and then they have to probably just take, you know, you basically, 76%, you basically have to take second. Right? It's a pretty good win condition. And I think they just let it go a bit. Do they have new Torb available? Yes, because Custer played it. Lol. I think Custer played it. I know Australia played it. I don't understand the Hammond at all. There is a comp called Dotes, which involves using a Hammond. This is not Dotes. This is weird. This is really, really weird. Because with any team comp with Overwatch, right? And I'm going to pause it and let's review this point because it's a very important thing to understand. Team comps in Overwatch generally have like win conditions. So the United Kingdom has win conditions in the fact that you have snipers. So snipers are very, very good at getting picks early and turn that into kills. You get 1 or 2 picks and then maybe engage on the back of it and that converts into a team fight win. You have win conditions in the way that you have like Xenor plus a lot of pressure coming out and a lot of damage coming out with the Mercy. Then you can blow stuff up as well. So it gives you a lot of pick potential. Relatively mobile, agile comp as well. The only unagile piece in it is really Boombox. Otherwise, it's pretty well rounded. Hey, Carrier. It is pretty great. Twitch Prime is a superb thing that lets you give free subs to people. It's pretty cool. If you have Amazon Prime, you probably have Twitch Prime, and it's a really good way to support people. Ding. Let me shield for your Amazon. Okay. But with the United States comp, okay, you have pick potential with Zachary. You actually have some threat with Sinatra as well. Tracer is just really good at getting into the back and killing things. But pick potential is sort of, you know, Mercy sort of negates that on both sides. So, okay, the single sniper as well going into double sniper is going to be naturally quite pinned back. So it's going to be quite difficult. Muma will be able to put on a lot of pressure, but won't really be able to convert into kills on his own. Maybe he can pair up with Sinatra quite nicely. And, like, if he slams someone, Sinatra comes in and shoots him, that would be really, really cool. That's a really nice way of getting kills. In terms of ults, though, where does the nano boost go? And this is where I get frustrated, and this is where I think hubris has come into things, because it's like, oh, lol, we're going to play Hammond into the double sniper comp instead of just playing Winston. Because if they just play Winston and just built to a nano boost, and just built to a nano Winston, yeah, it would probably go really well for them. Let's roll the footage and see how well this goes for them. So Muma setting up to threaten the back line. Sinatra getting a little bit caught out, but will manage to make his way through. Squeaking past, takes a bunch of damage, almost dies to fusions. It's a tracer, they're fine. Bunch of early kills, there we go. Muma gets onto the back line as well, just decimates boomers. Killed by a Venom Mine. Omega low. And now you're going to see Mikey A with one of the most beautiful shots, because I remember this moment. I'm going to whoosh. Oh. So good. So good. That kill was clutch. Because, well, now a lot of the momentum's gone. You can't really res the already dead. Kib is actually in a pretty nice fight at the moment, and the UK have managed to sort of solidify in this position in this little inside area. The res has already come through on Boombox, so Boombox is back and redoing the fight, so spawn advantage isn't really factoring into things. Muma jumps in, instantly has to bounce out, feeds Kib a shit ton of ult charge. Boombox finds Sinatra. Please tell me Boombox teabags Sinatra. Sinatra is a cocky little shit that likes to teabag people, so... Boombox is too classy. Boombox just teabags sprays. If you watch Boombox, that's what he does out of fight. He'll spray on the floor and then teabag it. Yeah, this Hammond is doing literally fucking nothing. Nano Hammond? Oh boy! Look at all the damage he's not doing. I mean, he gets a minefield out, but nobody gives a shit. Like, look at all the damage. He even misses the mercy. This isn't Muma's fault. Unless Muma made the decision, lol guys, I'm gonna play Hammond. Whoever made the choice to play Hammond is a fucking idiot. Because if that was a Winston, right? Roll the fucking footage back. Can you imagine a Nano Winston going into this room? Like, holy shit. UK would be done. UK would be done. If that was a Nano Winston, UK are just dead. Right? There's no way they survive it. All the AoE damage, they will kill some of the supports. The rest of the US can just push in. So easy. Instead, there's just this fucking hamster that does nothing. And so now, okay, well, if you remember, the UK had 2 minutes, and now the US have 2 minutes, and they spent so much time pissing about, the UK has ult advantage. UK has ult advantage, United States now finally swapping onto a team comp, except now they brought out Sinatra on the Hammond. So now they're going more of a Dotes style. It's not fully Dotes, but it's most of the way to Dotes. They got Zachary on the Widow instead of on like the Brig or something useful. And the UK are just going to play in the room. They're just going to play in the small room. Don't get me wrong, the UK's comp is in trouble here in terms of like the Widowmaker. If you notice, if you watch Mikey's positioning for a little while, you'll notice that Mikey gets very few opportunities to actually leave this area. Alright, Mikey's mostly just going to be pressured out, has to constantly just focus on surviving and staying alive and just dodging all the bullshit being thrown at him. He doesn't really have time to do anything. But the US don't have time to do anything either. Like, they're just sending Winston and Hammond into this small room, and it's just not doing anything. Kib is just literally free farming. Where did the Ana Lucio flank? Let's have a look. Let's solve this mystery for you. So I think they're getting into position, like, this isn't bad for the Ana. The Ana wants to get into the position where she can throw an anti-heal grenade into the room and also support the tanks going into the room. So this positioning is fine. Like, following the tanks here, like, Raucous is just looking for a good anti. And it's just building ult charge. Like, if the US wanted to do this shit, then the way you do this is you don't send the tanks all the way in. the way you win from this position is you have like Raucous and Space, just Raucous, Space, and Sinatra even. You can just like rotate them just in front of this just to soak some damage and then build up Raucous's ult super fast, send in the nano and win off that. Or try and at least win off that. But now you're kind of in a bad position because Boombox has ult, Cruz has ult. So it gets very difficult to convert. You see this fucking useless hamster. Also, Cruz is a god. Cruz is really fucking good. Cruz got a lot of mentions, which makes me very happy though. People are picking up on the fact that Cruz is very good. You're also not seeing the full value of Cruz, which is that he is he's very, very good at like so there's like 2 phases to shot calling. Which is you have like this phase, like before a fight begins, you are discussing what does the enemy team have, like what potentially do the enemy team have, what are you going to do, what's the plan. Cruz is very, very good at doing that sort of thing, doing like organization of the team. So yeah, it's an important thing to understand. This is a better look for Team USA, by the way, ditching the Widowmaker, because now they're playing like you've got these very, very potent dive components with actually like all 4 of these pieces available to you. And then you also have like the Lucio and you have the Nano Boost as well. So this is a better team look, right? You don't have this Widowmaker just suddenly thrown in at fucking random. Nano Winston goes in, chasing Cruz around, getting damage done, actually doing things. Smex gets bombed, but Mooma just fucking absorbs it, kills Smex off, trades for it. Mikey continues to be a fucking legend. Look at this lad. Look at this mad lad. Look at this fucking lanimal. If I remember right, this shot is a beauty. Where is he? Where is the Skenji? Oh, there he is. Pop! Right to the bollocks. The enemies of Talon will be eliminated. So Mikey's just keeping everything in the game. The US are winning at this point, by the way. Like, US have advantage there, presence on the point. They have their supports in position as well. The Hammond is still kind of being a little bit useless, but is actually doing some work. Kib on the Tracer does cause problems. Tracer is actually a very good counter to Hammond, in that Tracer can just chase. Like, Hammond's power is that he can roll away and escape. Tracer denies that by just chasing him down and killing him, but there's still just not enough to get back there and reinforce first. And this is something that we drilled into them, as like the coaching staff drilled into them, which is do not go after lost causes. You do not need to retake this point. You have like 1 minute on second point, way easier to do. Do not get caught out in bad positions on bad heroes. Instead, just go back to spawn, change things up. Oh look, Mikey Ace changed things up. We have a Brigitte now. Kib gonna change onto the Sombra. And so now we have a really solid team comp against what they're running. Very good against the Genji, very good against the Hammond. They're still playing the Hammond for some fucking reason. Who knows why. Hammond goes in. Mildly inconveniences Smex. Smex. Look how low Smex is. Look at how in trouble Smex is here. And it's like he just flies off. He's just got an orb on him. They can't out DPS the fucking orb. Look how long this is taking. There we go, finally. And then for some fucking reason, I want to go to Raucous' viewpoint. I want to go straight. What does Raucous see here? Let's go forward, forward, forward. Waiting for this nano. Okay. Does he do it to save Sinatra? System's overpowered, apparently. I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Look at all the damage he's not doing. What? And the Mooma just like commits suicide to fusions. Feels bad, man. If you don't win a team fight cleanly on 2CP, you aren't going to win it, just as an incidental. But don't worry, guys. Zachary's broad shoulders are here to carry. He's going to have a Dragon Blade in a second. This is the absolute sort of magnum opus win condition. You've got a Dragon Blade coming up. You've got a couple of kills. Unfortunately, they do have Rally on them. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. So let's look at this one from the absolute legend himself, Cruz. Let's look at it from his perspective, because Cruz does a really good job here. Yuji no okay. Whatever the hell he says. Does actually manage to hit Cruz once there, I think. Peels off his armor. And then just... Like, that's a no-reg. It's unusual to me that that didn't hit, but whatever. Wouldn't have killed him regardless. And yeah, just... I don't understand the Hammond. Why doesn't Moth ult for the blade? Very good question, actually. Why doesn't Moth ult for the blade? He's just out of position. Maybe he... I think he's afraid of Kib. I think they're anticipating that Kib has managed to build up a Dragon Blade. Like, Moth's positioning here is very much of a Lucio that is like... What he's expecting to happen is an EMP like over here, and then he comes out and sound barriers. That's what this positioning says to me. Now, the EMP isn't ready yet. That's sort of the dirty secret here, is the EMP is not actually ready, so Moth is just out of the fight. So it's just a misread. Are you sad the USA lost? No. God no. My goodness gracious me, no. I'm confused as why they're running Hammond on Volskaya second. I don't understand it. We're gonna see Hammond being run on Volskaya by Team UK at some point, but it's not to the same effect, and it's a very different composition. Rocco's got entranced by the big red ball, maybe. Don't get me wrong, like, you don't get many opportunities to nano boost a Hammond in professional tier Overwatch, but I don't think that was the time to do it. And this is the moment where everyone was going, hang on a minute. This isn't how the narrative's meant to go. We're looking at the bronze match for this one. We'll look at South Korea after this one, and then look at the bronze game. The bronze game is kind of an interesting one, like... Canada adapted really well. Like, Canada did very, very well there. Okay, so USA on defense, UK on offense. You can see that the UK have prepared the sort of anti-Pharah comp. US instead going for this quad tank option Reno. United Kingdom just going to swap to goats. I don't know why the US thought quad tank was the answer here. First thing the UK does, flip the map. So we've talked about this concept before. It's a very, very Philadelphia Fusion thing. It's a very, very Hayes sort of idea that you flip the map, and now suddenly you're playing from advantage, and you've got the payload. Like, you know, goats is hard enough to kill as it is. It's even harder if you've got a payload providing a little bit of healing to everybody as well. You can imagine that's a little bit more difficult to deal with. And you can also see, like, Boombox is really safe here. Look how safe Boombox is. And, like, there's no Discord on the US's side. Fusions is just doing insane damage with every swing. Smex is actually doing a lot as well. Jesus, Smex is building up like crazy. I don't know what that was from the US. I don't know. Can I ask why teams favor quad tank at the start of payload? What would make them run this over Goats or Zen Moira? I don't know. I genuinely don't know why the US picked that. It is a good comp if you do manage to, like, pressure them in, but I think it's... And, like, once you get rolling, the quad tank has, like, a lot of power in terms of, like, ults just being generated. It's very, very difficult to get out of the spawn doors. But the first thing is the US shouldn't have... Like, the US should have stopped them here if they're going to do this stuff. And, like, engage them as they try and cross here. You don't let the UK go and flip the map and take the payload. You don't let that happen. So it's... Again, it feels like the US are playing a comp they don't entirely understand. But, I mean, the US is a region without experienced coaches. I mean, given time, maybe they'll be able to flesh out and understand how these compositions work. Okay, Fusions has a goddamn ult. So anytime Fusions has an ult, watch Kib. Don't watch Fusions. Watch Kib. Watch this young lad. No, did you see it? Did you spot it? Blink and you'll fucking miss it, because my god, the timing on it is insane. So then the question to ask here isn't also like what is Muma doing, it's what is Sinatra doing. Because Sinatra is how you stop this happening. Sinatra's in position to stop it. Muma actually just drops his barrier. I don't think it would have made a difference. I think that Urshad actually still goes through. But Sinatra fucked up. Sinatra fucked up really badly. And he fucked up badly by just doing one simple thing. Maybe they must know. They have to know 100% that Fusions did a lot of damage that last fight. Sinatra cannot cross in front of Muma. He just cannot. He can't be this far forward. He has to catch this in a bubble. If he catches that in a bubble, this fight could go very differently. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, and oh look, momentum on the UK side. It's even nicer as Coalescence gets used. Like, don't get me wrong, Mikey kind of fucks up here. I don't think Mikey should even fucking ult here. I think Mikey just goes, oh shit, I better just try and do something about this, and it just gets eaten. Okay. That's kind of rough, but I don't understand the US deciding to sound barrier at that moment. I don't see how they thought this team fight was going to do anything but just completely crumple. And now they're just throwing like any ult advantage they had completely away. Because they're playing into 5 versus 6s, and you can see, oh, the UK, like, Mikey's halfway to another fucking ultimate here. Fusions has another one. Boombox and Cruz didn't even fucking blink. It's ridiculous. This, I think, is where the US is tilted, and the US has realized this isn't going to narrative, guys. This isn't going to plan. We look bad. And the crowd had died at this point. The crowd was silent. It was beautiful. I loved it so much. It was so much Schadenfreude. Yeah, it felt good. It felt nice. The crowd was just donezo. And I think the US is tilted at this point. They are making bad calls. Don't get me wrong. Like, you expect a team fight to happen here, right? Team fights on this point, you generally have one here, you have one here, and you might be able to squeeze one here. By engaging here, this is a very good point to try and hold for goats, but they've thrown away all advantage. The grab is good. There's no Diva Bomb, though. Fusions manages to catch people in their shadow because Muma gets greedy. Fun fact, this is what we call the Chris DFS special, as my voice starts to go, which is a grab lands, and Chris had the worst fucking habit of doing this. A grab lands, and the Reinhardt in the grab shadows out of desperation, and Chris would never fucking barrier it. Chris would never barrier it, to the degree where Smex was just like, yeah, no, I've learned to sidestep. I've learned to literally, like, you know, let's say the Grav was here, and the Reinhardt was here. Team UK would literally, like, Chris would just go in, and the Team UK would just go, whoop, fuck that, we're going around this way, because they know now Shadow is coming through this way. It's 100% guaranteed. Would it be smart to pick up Fusions, Funny Astro, and Kib? Fusions and Kib, I would say definitely. Funny Astro, maybe. Funny Astro is very much a Lucio player. And Lucio is fucking god tier. By the way, they're back on this fucking rodent. For some godforsaken reason. Let's pause it. Just quickly on this point. Fusions and Kib would be a fantastic pickup. Kib, I think, is vastly underrated and should be picked up. Kib has an amazing hero pool, and he's pretty good at all of them. Kib will be a very good player in support of someone like Carpe. Someone like Birdring. Like, you want a superstar DPS and Kib, because Kib is like a libero sort of player. He will play everything, and he's not the flashiest, but he will get things done, and he's very reliable at getting things done. His Hanzo is very, very solid. He actually has a really good Doomfist as well. He has an okay fire, he has a pretty good Sombra, and he can play like a lot of different things to varying degrees. So I think Kib will be great in support of like a hard carry style of DPS. So yeah, the US making these swaps, going to like the pharmacy. I agree with the pharmacy. I'm fine with the Doomfist. Although this swap is kind of late. Like, if you're gonna do this, you want to do this before you have to try and pressure out here. And they are playing into ult disadvantage, but this team comp swap isn't too bad. I'm still not the biggest fan of the Hammond here, but it kind of works. It's just gonna be kind of annoying. But I think there's just too much advantage for the UK here. Like, there's just too much in favor, so the UK they do the wombo combo, and it's pretty simple to start sort of taking momentum at that point. Doomfist is causing problems. You can see Kib's in a lot of trouble there. Cruz secures the kill. Cruz doing a lot of work on this Lucio, actually. Like, this is why Cruz is so good. He's just, especially on Lucio, he is very consistent. You can see he's going for it. Like, this is Cruz all over. He's pressuring the Mercy and the Pharah. What is the counter to pharmacy? Cruise, I guess. I don't know. Gib over EQO? Probably not, no. Actually, maybe. Gib has a good Genji. Gib also has a pretty good Tracer. Maybe not EQO's level, but I would say that Gib might actually have a better Hanzo, and that matters more at the moment. But yeah, Carpe was just an example. Like, it was the style of player, not replace EQO. Okay, so now the US are kind of got a problem because the pharmacy doesn't work in here anymore, and Goats is really fucking good on this point. Beauty of a bomb from space is set up in some way by the Hammond as well. UK unfortunately used Trance during that fight as well, so it's tough. Why would Muma go Hamster? In theory, the Hamster does break Goats. It's okay with the Doomfist. I think the Reinhardt is so much better here though, because what you've set up is a time bomb because of this lad. Because fusions will just kill everybody. UK responding extremely well here to a lot of pressure. Super greedy. This sort of player, the Doomfist, right? The Nano Doomfist is fine. Nano Doomfist is really, really good. Like really, really solid. Very, very powerful tool available to you. You can translate into kills very effectively. But UK does a really good job of just focusing on him. It's very, very difficult to sort of get rid of the Doomfist when he's hitting this many people. Would have been nice if Sinatra hit more than just Boombox here. But the UK's focus is so much, and he didn't get enough barrier to really survive, and then it goes for the Meteor Strike. This Meteor Strike is completely stupid. And speaking of Kib, if you watch Team UK scrims, like if I ever decide to release some, or if I manage to find some that I can release, whenever Kib plays Doomfist, he never drops on people. And he does it for that reason. He often does it just to drop on high ground, and then he'll like seismic slam down from high ground, for example. He never ever drops on people because it's so easy for it to backfire like that. And yeah, it just goes horrifically wrong. And now the UK is fucking rolling. Like, again, this is a good point for Goats. This is a very, very good point for Goats. And Fusions was uncontested for so long that Fusions has like 50% ult charge again, by the way. Fusions is just spiraling out of control. But a lot of this is just the US's complete inability to deal with Goats. This is what it looks like when the US just cannot handle Goats. Because they don't have, like... Yeah, there's no Zenyatta here, there's just an Ana, so the anti-heal grenade has to be huge. Fusions is just running forward, bubble on him. Good job by Mikey. They've picked their target. They understand, the UK understand that the win condition for this team fight for the US is a Graviton Surge, right? They haven't seen a Grav in a while. There is a potential that Zachary has it, so just watch how focused, and Zachary's used his bubble as well. Bubble fades off. The focus is fucking instant, right? Everybody is shooting at Zachary. And the US just can't react. And Zachary just dies. There goes one of the prime win conditions for the team fight. Payload's rolling, payload's rolling. No one's died. Kib's kept everybody alive on the brick. Space is going to die. Diva 1 blocked up. Re-engage. Shadow gets Moth. Focus is absolute on Moth. Diva out of the picture. Grav to finish. Bish bosh. Done. Doomfist is a shit super overrated hero. Hard disagree. Doomfist is very good at the moment. It's just not... Doomfist in like that tight a space is very, very tough. And Doomfist against Goats is effective, is good. But it's just not being played to its fullest potential here. It would be nice to have Hydration. I don't understand why you don't play Hydration on this map. Smex died for Orcus so he couldn't heal as well. Yep. And yeah, so we're going to see Quad Tank again. Spicy. Let's see if the UK can demonstrate how to play Quad Tank against Goats. Kib has a pretty fearsome Roadhog. Okay, so we've got hiding. Hiding to begin. Bit of early pressure. A lot of focus on the shield break so far. Uncontested Kib. And somehow Zachary dies. Zachary, how have you died? Kib wasn't even there. What's happened to you, Zachary? So notice the difference in positioning. Hammer just connects. Hammer just connects. No support, no healing, because Raucus is busy being tied up. And there's just nothing there to keep him alive. Question I have now is, did Moth... Yeah, Moth just used Amp It Up. So, okay, Moth did Amp It Up for that. But notice the difference in attack angles. Notice what the UK did that the US didn't, which is the UK flipped the map and then all engaged as a cohesive unit, just stood on the point for a little while and then just engaged. None of this, like, flanking happened. Like, Kib just gets a free flank. He gets to put a lot of early pressure on. And then Raucus, Moth might have speed boosted too early. They needed to disengage. They needed to do something other than just get doved on, because Cruz amped it up. And you heard the amp come out of Moth far, far later. So Moth just didn't react. Why Hog over Brig? Hog can play more freeform. I personally think both would work, but Kib, I think, is just going to make himself a nuisance. Like, you can see what he's doing now. He's just going on this flank around the back. He's just looking for ways in just to convert it into kills. It also gives you a lot of shield break, and like Fusions has been playing out of his mind, so why not play for shield break? And this is the power of Quad Tank. After you win that first fight, you get so many tools to play with that it converts very easily into like a lot of high value plays. And trading a Coalescence for a Transcendence, I'd say, is value. The UK did a spawn camp. It has become very typical. It's very, very standard on Route 66, to, especially with goats, to have first fight like by the spawn door. This is very, very standard. The reason why is if you try and hold like around the corner here, you will not have enough time to actually have a proper second fight. When you try and hold here, you'll be able to convert it into a second fight. So you get 2 fights instead of 1. I will tell you for a fact, in scrims, Eagle Gaming used to hold us in spawn almost all the fucking time. So yeah. So Sinatra setting up for a winning play here. And Smex... Just shocking. Shocking. Amazingly, Sinatra just didn't take this opportunity, and I don't quite know why. And then... Fucking hell. Almost goes horribly wrong. Almost goes horribly wrong. Let's have a look at this from a proper angle where we can actually see what the fuck is happening. So the United Kingdom get a lot of space. I'm going to have a quick stab of a drink as well because my throat is tired. So Fusions just get stunned up. There's the speed boost in. Fusion's isolated, killed. This is a nice engage actually out of the US. Like, Cruz, I think, amps it up there. And then US responds, and Fusions just can't react. Mikey, I think, has got his bubble on cooldown. Yeah, it's on cooldown. So, maybe a misplaced bubble earlier. Once you've lost the Reinhardt, it's so difficult to win. So, yeah, that fight is done. For some reason, the US felt the need also to use... Like, using Brig ult's okay, using the Lucio ult, perhaps not quite so much. UK gets 3 bites of the cherry, though. Gets a grab, gets a Diva Bomb. Honestly, that's fine. They use that combo, well now you have second, which is much easier to hold on. And it's like, you have just full advantage in terms of economy. Something the UK does that's clever here that I really liked. Oh no, it's the next push. Okay, they all just go out high ground. Next push, they're going to go out of low ground. They like scout it really, really intensely and then push out low ground. What is Zachary's positioning here, exactly? Notice that the map has been flipped. It's just an interesting thing to note. Sinatra gets really, really horny for it there. What is Sinatra after here? Very, very lucky to get that ult through, Mikey. Jesus Christ. I want to try and slow it down because I think Defense Matrix literally just close. Yeah, Shadow in response. Smex's bomb just gets dropped right in front, but Sinatra's just past it, has no bubble, dies instantaneously. Zachary gets isolated. Easy kills. This is where the UK wants to hold. Pushing through this corner is so difficult. This is where you want to hold with goats. You're basically dropping onto a Reinhardt and a Brig, and that's not actually something you really want to be doing. So they're going to try and match it. Muma is getting bounced around a little bit. Fusion's just taking a few cheeky swipes. And it's like the signs there of like something happening. Like the stun comes through from Zachary. Alright, watch Zachary. It'll happen. It's like Discord Orb is on. Stun happens. Fusions dies. Nope. Okay, trance. Layered ults. I'm going to be sick. Feels bad, man. It's still bad. It always was bad. It always has been bad. UK just need to maximize efficiency. US do a good job just pulling back. It's a smart move. It's the right move. Mikey is on 60% of an ult. Shadow actually whiffs. Shadow actually goes through, catches Boombox, but Kib is just there to protect. And the US actually come through with a teamfight win. Like, that was nicely played by the US. That was actually nicely done. The UK blew it with doubling up on support ults. That's miscommunication. That's just Boom and Cruz not going, I'm going to ult. And instead they both panic, both ult at the same time. That's rough. So this is where the UK scout. Right, they're not going to go out of main. They know that the US, they want to hold close. They have goats. They're going to hold the close door. So Smex is just going to poke his way out. He's going to poke his nose out, go, yep, they're not down here. We can actually go out low ground. It's fine. It's safe. Just a nice little checkeroni. Okay. Again, it's like it's a risky grab, but it works out. So there's the defense matrix, and then Mikey just waits for it to drop. And this is something I've mentioned before. Like, it's actually kind of good decisiveness from Mikey, I'd say. Which is there are two moments when it's safe to do a graviton surge. One of those moments is immediately after defense matrix drops, because there's a second cooldown, so you can't bring it back up. Oop. And if you do it at close enough range, they're not going to catch it. The second time is when D.Va's out of a mech, of course, or in spawn or whatever. So, nice read by Mikey. Again, kill the Reinhardt, you won the fight. And the US, I don't understand this re-engage. So this is something that you learn by scrimming with goats a lot, and maybe the US thought, don't worry guys, it's fine. We have the Zarya D.Va combo. We can't fucking lose. Not how it works. Not how it works at all. There are so many instances where this combo will only kill one person maybe. And so it's such a weird re-engage. Because, okay, now you've blown a lot of ults into a fight that you were kind of losing in already. And now the UK has ult advantage again. Good pickup by Zachary, managing to get rid of Smex. Sinatra's doing a lot of work here as well. Cruz with a delayed sound barrier. Smex manages to get a remake as a result. Fusions is building towards Earthshatter, gets the Earthshatter, gets the kills. Really nice disengage. Like, first and foremost, this is really, really good level-headed play out of the UK. Like, this is just very, very good resource management, right? Teamfight happens. US commits super hard. UK takes a fight for a little bit. Okay, US is committing even more. Notice the moment that sound barrier commits, the UK is just pulling back. It's just going back, 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 back. Sound barrier is now burnt off, so that advantage is gone. Now taking the re-engage slightly. Okay, back up, back up, back up. Notice they're still backing away. They've got to get healing on fusions, so they're just backing up. Focusing on stabilizing, not super hard engaging. The only one who's really engaging hard is Mikey, and Mikey has tons of hit points available to him. Also notice that the US has a bit of poor focus here. They could have killed Mikey. They could have absolutely killed Mikey there. They don't. Cruz gets enough time. Sound barrier, re-engage. And now Fusions is ready to go. Gets the beauty of an Earthshatter across the point. It's very, very hard to block those. And there we go. Teamfight 1. I love that siren. Really, really well played so far. Okay, US now kind of in the shitter, right? Like, they don't have support ultimates. They're going to probably get Raucous' ult mid-fight. They're going to get Nerf Shadow. They have a Grav. They don't have Diva ult. It's going to take a little while. They've got to be very careful of Mikey. They need to perhaps focus Mikey down here or find some way of dealing with that. Maybe Space gets a huge eat. Fusions is building up ult charge like crazy. It's a beauty of an ult. Counter Grav. Never liked those. That is one hell of an Earth Shadow. That is one hell of an Earth Shadow out of Muma. Let's just see this again from a more internal point of view. Can I like position this camera so I can like see through this wall? Ugh, no, not really. Wish I could drop the ceiling on this. I've never been a big fan of like these counter grabs. Does kind of end up working out, and then Fusions just sort of. Fusions gets a little bit horny for it this time, and yeah, that's not going to work out. We have the support ult Jamboree once again. I think we remember how this team fight ends. That's a beauty of a bomb by Smex, by the way. Just completely puts Muma out the fight. Just pins him in. Leaves him very vulnerable. Very nice charge as well, actually. Catches Fusions and reunites him with his team. Does end up dying for it, but they do trade main tanks. And Sound Barrier, with Sound Barrier on the US and Sinatra reinforcing using the Doomfist, that's actually going to be a nice advantage. Are we on one time? So there we go. So the US end up winning that fight. Earth Shadow and that charge from Muma were pivotal. Muma did very well there. This is why I get grumpy when people say like, "Oh, Muma's so shit," because he actually had some really good plays. Okay. As someone who was watching this as a UK fan, I was sat there going, "I think they've done it. I think the UK have won here." The reason why is Sinatra has just had to swap off the Zarya, and now back onto the Zarya. Mikey has a Grav. Transcendence might be a factor, but probably not before Mikey gets this Grav in. Fusions has an ult as well. And Fusions have been very, very dangerous with these. UK has support ultimate advantage at the moment. It's actually really going their way. And so you're going to see the US try and engage around this corner. Shadow does manage to connect, to his credit, to Kib, but Fusions managed to block most of it. Muma's getting focused and isolated. And you can see, like, that the UK are just looking for these opportunities. And it's the moment the projected barrier goes up. Alright, they're fighting. Pressure on Muma. And then just that wombo combo. So it's not even the projected barrier. When did Sinatra's projected barrier come out? Oh, please, there it goes. Okay, he's used it. There we go. It's not available. And it's just this pressure and setup, and this hurricane wombo combo that is just so fucking precise and so good. And that is insane. Just again, that coordination is like, that is owl tier coordination, literally owl tier. So the UK doing something really nice here, which is they're just going to hold close, and Mikey's just like looking for the cheekiest Grav and fucking gets it. I couldn't believe he got this. They see the Zarya, and it's just like, I'm going to have to do this again, I'm sorry. Space? Space, hello? Hello? It's EU calling. It's London calling. We've got our tank players here. Don't you guys have phones? Like, what the fuck? Oh, what's so annoying is this, right? What frustrates me as a fan of good Overwatch is this. This is a greedy position from Mikey, and Mikey's actually slow on the draw here. Sinatra goes, "Oh, hey, Zarya's right here." And if the call out was right, if the prediction was right, this gets eaten 100% of the time. And that could have made things happen very fucking differently. Instead, Smex gets a good bomb combo off. They manage to get rid of Muma's barrier. They get rid of the Reinhardt. I've mentioned numerous times now that having the Reinhardt alive is kind of important. The United Kingdom didn't have to use any support ultimates that fight. US did have to use support ultimates. 20 seconds left on the clock. UK has support ults, has fusions, almost good to go as well. It almost can't go wrong here. How many UK players are from London? None, I think. I don't know exactly where they were all from, but I don't think any of them are actually from London. And there we go. The song is a peak of both pain and sadness. I can never figure out. It's called For the Damage Coda by Blonde Redhead. Yeah, I can give you a link because I'm super nice. Question about the Zen positioning. USA attack with 250 on the clock. Why was Zen there? And it's this one, I'm guessing. Oh no, sorry, it's counting down. Forward, forward, slow down. So look. Raucous just on the high ground, that's pretty normal, pretty normal. Drops down, I think, just to get away from Smex and get with the rest of his team. It actually works out for him quite nicely. Because it lets him back away with the rest of the team. The Zen kind of has to, like, let me put it this way, if Raucous didn't do that jump, he'd be dead. Smex would just kill him, so that's fine. I mean, Boombox. I think it's just because Boombox likes being a surprising person. This gives Boombox a good angle as well, just to put shots down. He's feeling safe as well because he has his ult. And the team, like, it's not as if he's in a terrible position, right? He drops down. And so, like, this precise moment, like, here, right? You'd think that the US, like, if the US engaged on him super hard, he probably just ults straight away. And then if he ults here and the US is all dropped down to the low ground, the UK just takes the fight here and kind of wins. So that's fine, right? He's not also, like, out of position in regards to the US to engage on him has to cross through Fusions, has to cross through Mikey, Kib, Smex. They can all get to him pretty quickly as well and sort of cut into the team. It's fine. It's 100% fine. And then just playing it through. He also has a large health pack behind him as well. So if they do start going on him, and yeah, he just, the moment he feels even slightly threatened, he just ults. Straight away. There we go. Oh god, it felt so fucking good. I apologize to any US fans, but it felt so fucking good. Right, let's keep going, because I'm in the mood to keep going, and there's a lot of you here, so it's good to see everybody. Hello, welcome. Let's go on. We'll follow the UK's journey. Actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna refill my drink, take a couple of minutes break, I'll be back in a second. Just, it's easier for me to edit the VODs together that way as well. Refill your drinks, settle in. We're going to talk about South Korea versus the UK in a few minutes' time. Stick around, it'll be good. I promise not to try and gloat too much. Canada was MVP. Canada played really well. They did like a really good job of adapting to the end. Right, see you soon. See you in a sec. I'm going to go to this screen for a break. BRB.